Hey everyone, Charlotte sports fans, and anyone on YouTube. How we doing? Glad to see you. Welcome to this week's episode of the Midweek Meltdown. Excuse me, a show dedicated to pregame and postgame content for the Carolina Panthers as well as the Charlotte Hornets. As always, I encourage you to hop in this conversation and let your opinion be heard. Join the show. It's easy. I put the link right in the chat. I would like to thank John from Ink Tank, all of my creator friends online and the online community, and of course, all of you for joining me this Wednesday on Charlotte Sports One. We got a lot to talk about tonight. Are the playoffs just a dream for these Charlotte sports teams? The first ever social media influencer as a sponsor for a major sports team, making history here. And more from around the NBA and the NFL. So come join me in this week's episode of the Midweek Meltdown. Awesome. Great to have you guys back. Thank you for joining me. Let's get right into it. So, this Charlotte team, and really most of the other Charlotte teams as well, they are not exactly known to be successful. So I mean, that comes being a fan comes with a lot, and we take this responsibility seriously over here at Charlotte Sports One, and I'm sure around this community. However, it's hard for us fans to continue to really enjoy what they're putting out here on the field for us to see. It's really hard for me to say that these guys are really doing what they're supposed to be doing. I guess I don't understand. Um, they're putting together this superstar coaching staff. Then they say that they are assembling something close to legendary. However, I have yet to see a legendary anything in uh, this area. I mean, to be point blank, and I mean, much like the Carolina Panthers fans, supporters of the Hornets are sick and tired of losing too. You know, and it's not good. It's not going well. So, I mean, as we look back on this Minnesota game, I cannot say with confidence what direction this team is going to go, where the identity is. I can't say that I'm still high on Bryce because I kind of have to be. But I will say that I'm a little surprised by how not well he's playing. I will say that a lot of that is probably not on him. Um, but there are, he's not, free from the fault, as they would say. I believe that he really needs to try to gain confidence or do something to let because if Frank Reich is not going to give up the play calling, he needs to be confident in Bryce making throws and taking risks and trying to push the ball down the field, and this vanilla throw at 5 yards and it's all about the YAC, I really don't believe that that's us a recipe for success. Um, Obviously, everyone in Carolina, coaching wise, I would say, come in and they're like, "Oh, well, we're going to be this run heavy team," um, but we do not. We have almost worse than a lack of a running game. Um, they are not afraid of it at all, and that this is four teams we've played, and just recently Minnesota. Um, but we're talking about a team that is being game planned against as one dimensional. And I'm sure, that that's true. And I can't, say that it's not because it very well could be. Um, there was a lot to be desired when I look back on this game. Obviously, Ian Thomas can't catch. Bryce Young is going to have to learn that he cannot throw it to Ian Thomas. Ian Thomas is a blocking tight end, just like Frank Reich has that play for Adam Thielen that, nobody else can do because it's Adam Thielen's play. Um, you just got to design a play right around him. And I don't know how that all works out, but that ought to be interesting. Um, so I guess looking ahead, uh, because I can't keep living in the past because it's just as a Panthers fan, I mean as a Charlotte sports team fan, as on a whole, I'm not super enthusiastic or optimistic. I will say I hope that this product is not what is in store for the Hornets as they enter their third day, I should say, of training camp tomorrow. Uh, it'll be very interesting to see um, how they play in their preseason games and how um, that lineup is structured with Brandon Miller and the return, of Miles Bridges and just other changes, Kelly Oubre. So looking looking to Detroit, like I said, we're the spread is -9 to the Lions. So that's not good. We're plus 340, you know, 5 over under. Oh my goodness. Um yeah, I mean, you can't really base it off the matchup last year because we beat them 37-23. However, we had 320 rushing yards from Dante Foreman and Chuba Hubbard. Jared Goff still threw 3 touchdowns, but we had an unbelievable running attack that nobody had seen before, and they got off on the Detroit Lions. That's not going to happen Sunday. And anybody that thinks it's going to, it's not. I'm a very firm Panthers fan, and I will not sway from that. But I cannot, with confidence, say that the Panthers are going to win this game. I just got to keep it real with you guys. To be honest, the Panthers haven't won a game since January 8th of this year. And strangely enough, it was against Andy Dalton, and in the New Orleans Saints. You know, a crazy game that was. The Saints finished with hey Pickle, how we doing?
My man, how are you?
Good. So I
Uh,
was just talking about the matchup against Detroit.
yeah, we're gonna win that 30-3. Well,
Oh,
at least was on my Madden game anyway.
oh, 30
So
to 3. Goodness. Whew.
on my Madden game, maybe if I cheat. Uh,
Yeah, that's
uh, but in real life, it is what it is, man.
yeah.
It
I
is,
I
and
mean,
we have to have the understanding now that we are in a development year.
oh
Um,
yeah,
and
for sure.
we just are. We're developing. Whether you like it or not, I don't think Bryce is as NFL ready as people thought he was.
No, he
I'm
doesn't look
not
like it.
going. I did a little bit on Twitter. I'm not really going out and saying that we should have took this other guy and all that because that's just revisionist history.
Right.
It's not really helpful to anything. But a couple of things I want to tell you though. Just got done doing some film review, and YGM and Chuba Hubbard have really become things that we haven't never thought they would be. With a little better
Right.
coaching, they're coming around really good. And I'm just going to say right now, whether people like it or not, according to the film, YGM is probably our best pass rusher,
Yeah.
or at
I
least
mean, well,
he could
because
get us
Brian Burns flashes, but he disappears.
exactly,
He's
exactly.
nowhere.
And there's often he gets Brian only has one speed mover. That's all he's got is a speed and a swish move to the right
Yeah,
side.
he
That's
does
all he's
not
got.
have any power moves at
No,
all. He
and
cannot push anyone out of the way.
right, and for that reason, a lot of times he's getting himself kind of blocked out. He gets
Right.
often in this past game, he got himself blocked completely out of the play by Christian Darrisaw, the Vikings left tackle.
Mm.
He got locked up
And
by the
tight end.
Vikings tight end. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Hawkinson.
that's what I say. I mean, he often gets shut out of the play, and I mean, and just to be honest, right now, I said it. I would give him 30 million. I'm not certain right now. I'd give him 25.
That's what I was thinking. Like, I mean, before the season started, he was super hype, and we're all like, "Oh my god, we have to
Yeah.
give this guy $30 million. We
Hmm.
have to give it to him right now. This is gonna be so bad if we don't give it to him."
Right.
But he is, I mean, he takes a lot of double teams, but at the same time, he's still, when he doesn't, he's getting pushed around because he doesn't have any power moves or any
Right.
real inner strength.
Hmm.
So like my thing is, if he bet on himself at the beginning of the year, how bad does that make him look right now? I mean,
It's looking
because
like what Pickles said about the franchise tagging him. It's not looking bad at all because it's only going to be
right.
22 million if they
Right.
franchise tag him
Exactly.
next year.
Exactly. And
I'm
I
sorry I
mean,
didn't welcome you in, Jake. I'm sorry, Pickle. Welcome,
Now you're good.
Jake. Come on in. Glad to have you, buddy. Go ahead,
Heck
uh,
Pickle.
yeah, I'm glad to be on.
but I and you're another team. Put yourself in another team. Let's hypothetically say you're the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah.
You came from the Rams head coach idea of building, right?
Right.
So you have this idea that you need a pass rusher, you need an elite pass rusher. You look at Brian Burns and you're thinking, okay, if we can trade with the Panthers, well, let's pull up the game that he played us. Did y'all remember anything that stands out in the Viking games that you're going to want them to say, yeah, we're going to give you a couple first round picks for?
Nope. That's
Nothing,
Nope.
nothing.
nothing.
That's horribly
So,
true.
so I mean, now, if you so in my opinion, we put the tag on him. You're really going to get lucky if somebody wants to offer you a first, and if somebody says, well, we'll give you a first, but that's about it. Take it and run
Yeah.
because I'm
I,
not certain. And Brian, till Brian Burns himself realizes that he has to adapt to other moves, he has to do other things. Then he may not be worth resigning because if all he's got is one move and he can't. I mean, it's took a little while, but teams are already starting to figure him out.
yeah. And I mean, they're able to remove him from the play on multiple downs. So I mean, at this point, how effective is he at as our passer rush? And I mean,
Right.
And all of Scott Fitterer's moves so far have not been good.
No, yeah,
Just
no.
Justin Houston
Yeah,
gonna be awesome on the other side. Bullshit that we were fed.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
buying it.
Justin Houston is a I think he's mid-30s or something.
Yeah.
He
But
looks washed.
yeah,
He looks washed.
he's an old guy who's just washed. He just is. He just ain't got a lot left in the tank. But
No.
another guy that doesn't get a lot of attention. But if y'all please, if you have the ability to rewatch that game or you watch the next one, please look out for number 90. No, it's not Julius Peppers. But to be honest, he's growing quickly.
I hope so.
Yeah, we just did do a film review. And if you have a
All right.
chance and you're C3 members, check that out.
I will.
Because when it downloads, and you'll see a couple plays where they line up YGM and uh, Barno on the same side, and them two pretty much stop the play.
Yeah.
And Barno has a lot of speed, but he's learning developmental moves at such a young age. Remember, Barno's only this is only his second year, if I
Yeah.
remember correctly, his second year into the league. He's really picking up, and I think it's helped YGM quite a bit too. I think the better coaching has dramatically helped them out. Now it could be the system, it could be the 3-4, it could, and I'd imagine Barno fits better in the 3-4 than he ever did the 4-3.
Right.
But where he can use that elite speed he has. But YGM, I always thought never fit a 3-4. But he's playing really good. But I just think a lot of that may be the better coaching. What do y'all think?
It very well could be the better coaching. I would.
That and after this year, who was to say that he's gonna still be on the team?
Yeah.
Who YGM?
Hmm.
Well, you're right. You're right. Because after this year, he goes to unrestricted free agency.
Yep.
So
So he's playing
so
for another contract.
so
Yeah.
if you're another team, and the best thing about it is right now YGM has experience in a 4-3 and a 3-4, and
Yeah.
he's a good rotational piece against the run. And so far, when you line him up on the inside, for example, think of your traditional 4-3 where you have two ends and two tackles. And in the plays, you had two ends. The one I remember, um, you had Burns, and you might have had Barno on one side. But anyway, on the inside, you had a tackle. You had YGM on the inside lined up as a tackle. He come off that guard so quick and got into the backfield. Kirk Cousins had to throw the ball away. He just had to, or he was going
Right.
down.
Right.
Barno lined up on the inside. It will make some money if he keeps doing this year.
Yeah. Let me welcome Evan Sports Talk to the show. Evan, how are you doing, buddy?
Doing good, doing good.
Awesome.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
pickle. I'm sorry.
uh,
Go ahead.
well, yeah, I was just listening in on the Yetur talk, and honestly, coming out of college, I thought he was going to be good in the NFL, and then he ended up not doing as well. I mean, I'm a Penn State fan, so I watched him a bunch there, and he was really good there. I mean, he dominated, and there's a reason he was a round 2 pick. But
Yeah.
it sucks to see how he's been doing the first few years in his career. And finally, I mean, especially in the Minnesota game, he started showing out in that
Yeah.
game. He started showing out and showing up.
Yeah, I was
Very.
adamantly impressed, and watching film, he's very noticeable when he's on the field now. He isn't just an afterthought. He's very well noticed. Um,
Right.
he's very well noticed, and Barno. I saw some tape from Barno in Seattle, and again I saw it in here. They're starting to use Barno on those rotations at linebacker, and
As
I,
they
I just
should.
I just be honest. I Give Barno a year or two, and he's going to command some money to re-sign him as
Right.
a
And
starter.
it's not exactly like we're competing right now. So why
No,
wouldn't you kick the tires on the players that you think might be decent in
right,
a position?
exactly,
I mean,
exactly,
that only makes
and
sense.
it's good to see that somewhere, the developmental guys that you've drafted somewhere, somebody shows up. You know, if
Right.
Barno's the only one that shows up in the rule era that developed of a late round pick, to be honest with you, or even a first round pick, you have to at least be happy for Barno. You know, you got to be happy for Barno. You may not be happy for anybody else, but you got to be happy for Barno. For at least he's coming from a sixth round pick that everybody said, yeah, he's got speed, but that's all he got. He'll be lucky to
Right.
make it on special teams to develop and being in the rotation against quarterbacks.
Yeah. It's I'd like to see more Barno, and
Yeah.
I said it before. I was really hoping that YGM would be trade bait, and I mean he's looking like he's going to be getting his stock up, you know. So I'm definitely going to check out that all 22 that you guys put out, and see for myself just how much Barno is growing into the role as an interior
Mhm.
pass rusher. But looking ahead to Detroit, I don't think that we're going to win this game, but like I don't know that we're going to be blown out of it either because you know our defense has been keeping these games close. So
Mhm.
what do you think Frank Reich does this week? You know, do you
Well,
think
what
he I'm sorry,
if
do you think he's heard enough from the fan base to maybe change things a little bit?
I don't know. We got to do
I don't think
something
so.
better. We've got to do something better. I know the national media is laughing kind of at us for all the screen passes that are ridiculous. And you know, he said in this presser today it was a collaborative. He kept saying it was a collaborative effort. It was a collaborative effort. You know, if this all these guys got, if you got Jim Caldwell and all these smart people there to help you make this collaborative effort, and this is the best you got, hang that shit up. Jim Caldwell, you need to go to the retirement home and hang out there for a while. I mean, the best you got. Y'all need to hang that shit up because it ain't working. You know, I mean, you know, and if I may add real quick, Miles Sanders,
Garbage.
you,
Mm,
if the rumor online is you have a groin issue and it's bothering you, dude, you're doing yourself misservice. Sit down.
right.
Sit your ass down. Coaches do it for his benefit, not for nobody else's. Sit his ass down. I'm not saying that's what's going on. If that's what's causing him these issues that he can't get them burst, set his ass down. Because Chuba got this.
Right.
And Blackshear ain't been active all year, so it's time to activate his ass.
Old Spencer Brown's still hanging out on the practice squad too.
Or even that guy that we picked up from the Giants, right? He's on the practice squad.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah,
But
forgot.
what?
we have
I
some
think I
depth.
think they I think they released Spencer Brown, my friends.
Oh,
Yeah, the only
Yeah, we did a while
we've
back.
got Joshua Corbin, a running back, and we've got Tyreek Cohen. Now Tyreek Cohen may be ready to be sparked up uh, pretty soon. They've been talking a lot about him. Granted, he at first could only be, or he may only be a special teamer for a return guy, but let's be clear, he's actually started some games at one point for the NFL and looked really good doing it. So
right.
Yeah, he
Let
was
me
really good when he
welcome
was on the Bears.
yes,
Let me welcome JJ to the show. Hey JJ, sorry I didn't see it down there.
Nah, you all good. Can you hear me fine?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Do it sound like I'm driving?
Oh, you're definitely driving.
We definitely
Yeah,
can
you're
tell,
driving, but
I mean,
you're good. You're good.
Yeah, it's all good, buddy. No, we're just sitting here talking about the game in Detroit, and the fact that the last time we won a game was back in January on the 8th in last year against Andy Dalton. I mean, it's not a good look.
I
You know
still
Frank
don't
Wright.
know how we won
Go ahead,
that
JJ.
game. No, I
Well,
was just
yeah,
gonna
I
say
mean,
I don't know how we won that game. That was the most ugly football game I've ever watched.
I've got it pulled up here: 234 yards to 60 in the first half. 304 to 203 to end the game. That's in yards gained and on offense. That is unbelievable. And how we still won that is
Sometimes you
miracle.
just get lucky.
What game are we talking about?
Back the last game that the Panthers won was back on January 8th.
Against
When
Saints?
they played the
Yeah.
Saints. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they gained 234 yards on offense in the first half to our 60.
Yeah, we had a game-winning field goal, right, Eddie P?
Yep. Eddie P.
Yeah.
And that was last year.
Yep, that was last year. And it another interesting stat out of that was Darnold had moved Carolina into field goal range in the closing minute with a first down scramble, followed by just his 5th completion of the game, a 21-yarder to Terrence Marshall Jr. Crazy stats. I could not believe that. He was 5 for 15 for 43 yards with 2 picks.
And now he might get a Super Bowl ring.
Unbelievable. And the only offensive touchdown actually came from when he fumbled the ball and Michael Jordan jumped on it.
Yeah, I remember that. He fumbled in the end zone. I remember that. Yep.
Not good, guys. Because there's a couple L's before that too. So we
You know
did
what else
win.
is not good?
Yeah.
Our head coach not knowing that Adam Thielen was hurt and on the sideline and calling a play for him.
Well, that's where that's where the issue to me is quite. I heard it mentioned on the radio. He's the head coach, but he's also the play caller. So he's trying to figure out what play to call next, and trying to figure out all that up at the very same time, pretending he's a head coach. You can't. Some guys are just so cool at it. Is that they've got assistants to help him out and back him up. Reality is, he's not good at calling plays. He's just not. But he needs to hand that job off on somebody else. He really does need to let Thomas Brown. It's time.
He needs to turn in his job, is what he needs to do.
Well, yeah, but he ain't going to do
Go
that.
ahead and resign, Frank Wright. Call it a day.
He ain't. I wouldn't do that, even if I did suck. Because I tell you why. Because if I wait and let them fire my ass, I still get paid that money. If I resign, I don't get paid no money.
Yeah, obviously he's gonna wait till he gets fired so he can get that check. That's common, but
that's the smartest way.
Yeah, but don't if he gets hired by somebody else, he won't get all that money, just like Frank Rule.
He's not getting hired again.
Yeah, but if you do if you do a bad enough job, nobody's gonna hire you. Where's
I don't know.
Where's Ben McAdoo working today?
Yeah, he ain't on the couch.
Yeah, that's it. He's doing film review, probably for some YouTube under an assumed name.
Yeah.
But you know something else though that's interesting, Kyle?
Yes, sir.
Who was the running backs assistant head coach for the Detroit Lions when we beat them last time?
I could not.
Wait, say the question again.
Who was the assistant head coach / running back coach?
Deuce Daly.
Deuce Daly.
Our running backs coach.
Okay.
Yeah, he's the reason why we got Miles Sanders.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they knew each other in Cleveland.
He plays
tough.
But
That's helped us a lot. Plus, we also have. I think our wide receivers coach came from there.
He came from the
Yeah,
Cardinals,
maybe.
right?
I don't. Who was else? Somebody else came from there. Who was
No,
it?
no, he came from the Rams. My bad. He came from the Rams.
Okay, somebody else came from there, from the Lions.
The defensive line coach, right?
It may be it. One of them. Somebody else did. I just don't
I think it's the
remember who it
defensive
was.
line coach.
Might
I
have
don't know
been.
his name though, but I know he's the defensive line coach because he came for the same reason that Deuce Daly did. They wanted and Carolina was closer to family members or some shit like that.
Right.
I mean, would you guys be totally hurt if Deuce Staley became the head coach?
No.
I
No,
mean,
I wouldn't.
not really. I mean, I don't know how good of a head coach he is. I mean, I'm open for anything at this point.
Well, you see, the reason I ask is because what made Steve Wilkes so good to this team last year was the energy and
Yep.
the connection to the players. And I can say that after watching all the training camps and stuff like that, Deuce Staley is the one that has the loudest voice. Deuce Staley is the one that they're talking about. They're not, sugarcoating anything out there, and they're all expecting the best out of each other. So, I mean, if he had more control and was just like, okay, I'm not calling plays, I'm the head coach, and I'm going to do this, and this is my job, maybe we might be having a different kind of conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If I may add, I don't really care about his head coaching as far as, I mean, his head coaching to me is as good as the next guy. I don't get no spitfire and brimstone, but he never had that before he got here, so that ain't no big deal. But that's not who I would have hired at all. But that's who we got. But as far as what hurts me, what's got me down on him is his play calling is just atrocious. Now, I'm going to let you in a little secret that you'll see on that film room, but Bryce stares a lot of folks down.
Yes, he
So
does.
I'm curious to see if it's the coach is telling him, okay, on this play you need to throw it to number 17 and only to number 17, or
That could be it.
Or is it somewhere that he's just staring down every receiver he's meeting, or he's just staring down receivers all the time,
I'm
and
gonna
he's
be
not
honest.
scanning the field?
I think it's Bryce, honestly, guys, because like that was the thing at Alabama. That's what they did. It was a gimmick offense. It was a one read kind of thing, and most plays were designed for one person. It was a lot of flood routes. We're gonna have someone going to go and clear up space for this guy to come underneath. A lot of bubble screens and shit like that, and it was pretty simple like that.
And it was college, and they got away with it.
And the whole anticipation, I saw his anticipation, quote unquote, most on those corner routes whenever the field was a little wider because it's 25 instead of 20. When you got all that space out there and you just got your receiver one-on-one with the defender, of course, I got all this space to just put the ball out there. Like the Adam Thielen touchdown in the preseason, how he just threw it right out there, and it looked great, right on his face mask, pinpoint accuracy. But it's like, unless it's like that, and it's like he's got space to throw that ball and put it out there in front of him, man, it ain't looking good for Bryce, cause he don't got the arm talent to just drive the ball where he wants it right then and there. He got a quick release, but it just don't get there quick enough. And like I think week one really scared him now, cause like he tried to get it in there, cause like he didn't look at Hayden Hurst over the middle, but that safety came and jumped it regardless, and he just wasn't even able to get it there in time. And I think that's like starting to get to him.
Well,
He's like not trusting his arm.
Remember, in the NFL, the windows are smaller than they are in college.
Oh, absolutely.
Heard somebody say today that in college your window's about a foot. Okay, roughly it's about a foot. In the NFL, it's about 5 inches.
Yeah.
So the window's smaller in the NFL, and Bryce has to fit that smaller. Sometimes he may be overthinking these throws, and sometimes he may be not thinking them clearly enough. So, added with the fact of the terrible offensive line, with the lack of a good wide receivers, with the lack of a little bit bland play calling, like
Don't that sound like what I was saying earlier,
199
Kyle?
screens in this last game. So, but then you add all that in together, the equals 0, like 0 wins. So then
You
you
can't
have
Right.
to
stare
turn
down
over.
wide receivers. You just
No,
can't do it.
you can't do it. But he's been doing that quite a bit.
I know that's his problem. Like even if Frank Wright's like, hey, I'm gonna need you to throw to Adam Thielen display. Don't look at that guy in the huddle all the way
No,
to like the
exactly.
whole
And
time. You
right,
cannot do that.
and that's a
Right. Like
lot
you
to
know
do
the
what he's
ball's
doing.
coming. So.
And that's what
Because
Tua doesn't do, bro. I don't know if y'all pay attention to Tua because I've been trying to compare him to Tua recently. Bro, even since college, Tua be looking off them defenders in the secondary, bro. He just does that all the time. Even y'all know his game-winning touchdown in college for the Natty? That's exactly what he did. And it's his signature. You see him do it every fucking game, honestly.
Yep.
Looks to the left or the right, throws it the whole other side on the streak ball,
Right.
and just gets them to move, man. And Bryce ain't doing that shit.
Right. He's definitely not.
And that's what
What he's
everybody's
supposed
saying
to be
Bryce
doing.
was good at.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, it leaves a lot to be desired, but it kind of is what it is.
But at the very same time, some of the other guys, some of the other folks that are out there, some of the other rookies are out there playing. Let's remember, right now we're approaching week 5, right?
Yep.
So here's the time when the NFL defenses are going to start studying these quarterbacks because there's tape now.
Yeah.
So here's where the defensive coordinators are going to start figuring out, okay, if you pressure this guy right here, he's generally going to throw it right here. Or if you pressure him in the middle, he's just going to roll to the outside. Or if you pressure him on the outside, he's going to roll in the middle. So we need to put a good pass rusher right smack dab in the middle of the defense when we're rolling. And little things like that right there. So I think you'll start seeing some of these rookies, other numbers, kind of flattening off a little bit as the season progresses. It may not happen in the next week or two, but gradually you'll see. I think you'll see this happening. But that's kind of routine right now. Which right now Bryce isn't doing anything fundamentally great or even halfway great, so nobody can prepare for Bryce basically,
Right.
except for the known factors as he has, and they're give him a year or two, give him a year. I mean, we might as well give him a year. We going to anyway, so
Oh
they're
yeah.
not apt to dismiss Bryce and draft somebody else next year,
Yeah.
unless something stupid happens, like what's the name of that quarterback that'll probably go top in the draft, JJ?
Caleb Williams.
Yeah, unless something stupid happened and Caleb Williams is sitting there at pick 33 when we draft. Now, that might be in my dream, maybe, but unless something, I mean, really, if something stupid happens, then, but generally, if somebody drafts that far down, there's a reason behind that. You know what I'm saying? There's
that's
an
true.
underlying reason.
Everybody
There's
said that
somebody.
about Jalen Carter, though. Everybody said that about
Yeah.
Jalen Carter, and he's
You're
on
absolutely
Philadelphia,
right.
tearing it the fuck
I
apart.
thought he would drop a long ways. I really did.
I did too. I
But
did too.
but he handled it good, and I
Mhm.
think what helped him honestly is when he went back to Georgia. He approached what happened and what issues. Then he came back to the combine, so he didn't just outright not show up. Plus, he met
Yeah.
with everybody. He talked with everybody openly about the situation. He gained a little weight, and it was understood. But I think his agent did such a good job PRing it. And to be honest with you, it's kind of wrong. It's kind of illegal that he went to the Eagles. Just like that linebacker that went to the Eagles like late in the draft. That's bullshit. Eagles are not. It
Kobe
ought to be a
Dean.
law. It ought to be a rule in the NFL. You can't draft but so many people from one school.
Bro, they got every Georgia player known to man, dude. They got the Georgia defense. Literally.
I mean, that's just
Oh
wrong.
man.
Yeah, I was reading Fletcher
They got
Cox.
dogs on the defense.
Yeah, I was reading today, a few minutes ago, that Fletcher Cox had to get a shot or something, and may miss a week or two because of for whatever, and
got
it's
that
like,
steroid shot.
so You think I should feel sorry for the freaking Eagles? It ain't like they ain't got good defensive line help.
Right.
They've got
Right.
Back up.
Carter. They've got Davis. I mean, come on. They
insane.
even their fourth round guy or fourth round. He's fourth on their depth chart. 290 pound Milton Williams. Y'all need a good cheap guy you
Sounds
can
like
go
you
get
hate being a
on
Panthers
Madden.
fan.
You get him and then you kick him out
JJ,
to
we
the other
all
side.
sound like that recently. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Yeah. Bryce
I've
is
been
Panthers
a
through
fraud.
are a headache.
I've been through bad seasons before, y'all. I really
Yeah,
have.
I don't think JJ remembers Jimmy Clausen in 2010.
He don't.
Man, fuck no, it ain't.
JJ
It
wasn't
ain't
old
just
enough,
being
dude.
bad,
Really.
bro. Oh, okay, hold on, Pickle. But how
I mean,
many
was you?
bad
Am I
seasons?
am I wrong?
Hold on. Let me talk real quick.
All right, go ahead.
Pickle, how many bad seasons did you go through where we looked like we were gonna win 2 to 3 games,
Oh
but didn't
God
have our
Almighty.
first round
Mm.
pick?
Oh. Well, a lot of them. You got to remember, we drafted this guy named Everett Brown. Marty. Okay, let me start off by going back to
This
um.
ain't the first time this has happened where
No,
we trade our first round pick
absolutely not. You
and
remember?
then suck.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me. You know the 2009 draft.
I did not. I started following the team in 2011.
Okay, that makes sense. In the 2009 draft, we not 2000. Yeah, it was a 2009 draft. Um, we um we had traded. We drafted Jeff Otah in the first round. Then we traded back into the first round to get Jonathan Stewart. Okay. That left with D'Angelo Williams and Jonathan Stewart. And Marty's hand at the time was he wasn't going to re-sign D'Angelo Williams, right?
Okay.
And Jeff Otah was going to be right tackle until he developed good enough that when Gross retired, you was just going to kick him over to left, right? That was the
Right.
plan because he was a primary left tackle, but he played a little bit of right tackle in college. We needed right tackle help. Now, a lot of people wanted to start Otah at left and just put Gross back over at right. It made sense. But
Right.
Gross was doing a good job at left, so if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And Jeff Otah had played right before. That was the idea. But to
Yeah.
trade back into the first round, we had to give up the 2010 first round pick, right? Now, um, well, the season, it went and we made the playoffs as we did, and la di da da. But then in the 11, Mario Herney got a hair up his butt because in the second round because he desperately wanted uh, a defensive end because we had a guy because we had let Peppers go. Peppers walked
Yeah.
after that season. And we needed a defensive end, and Marty was certain he was going to re-sign Peppers, and he couldn't. So, nonetheless, we needed a defensive end. Now, Greg Hardy was fresh off of like a rookie issue, right? He wasn't really ready for anything per se. He wasn't a rookie, but it was like a second year or second year player, I think it was. I don't remember exactly now. But he was a second year player or something. And he'd played special teams before that. He'd played
Right.
gunner on special teams. But he was just a speed guy, a little big, so he had defensive end, and he was going to get an opportunity to start. But he loved Everett Brown. And he had to trade up in the second round to get him. And the only reason to do that was to trade your first round pick
Right.
for that. And again, we didn't get a first round pick. Then you fall into the trap of the next year because we didn't have the first round pick for 2010 to make a first round pick.
Right.
We traded the 2011 or the back in, and we went 3 or 4 years compounding that. Then you had the Monty Edwards situation where he was a quarterback in Appalachia State who drafted, but John Fox said, because John Fox didn't believe in running quarterbacks at the time. That he was too short because he was 5'10" and
Yeah.
he was hundreds of pounds. And Fox said he's too short and skinny to play quarterback. He wasn't playing quarterback. He was a wide receiver. And Fox forced him to start playing at wide receiver.
Mm.
And then he started doing returns. And Monty Edwards had never played wide receiver before. He had never, you draft a guy in the second round that had never played wide receiver. He never returned. And your goal was to train him for that. That was considered a bust. And it wasn't
Yeah.
on Monty Edwards' fault where he was drafted and what they wanted to do. So then, but all these mistakes and non-first rounds accumulated into Marty getting fired. Before he got fired, he managed to hold on to the job to where at the end of it, at the end of 2011 or at the end of 2010, they fired they fired John Fox. John Fox was a lame duck head coach.
Yeah.
He only had his entire staff. And some of the controversy things is that there's a lot ain't reported is back in those days, Steve Smith had a offensive coordinator named Jeff Davidson. And Steve Smith had already contacted management. As he went to Jerry Richardson himself and said, either he goes or I'm going.
Right.
Well, he called up John Fox and he called up and they connected and they told Steve that he had to talk to Mike McCoy, the quarterback's coach. He could talk to the wide receivers coach and the quarterback's coach. He didn't have to talk to Jeff Davidson.
Right.
At all. Now, maybe get some of my names messed up, but he didn't have to talk to Jeff Davidson at all. Now, imagine your star wide receiver not getting along with your offensive coordinator so bad that the owner tells him you don't have to listen to the the offensive coordinator. So from that point on, Steve basically did what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
And it left it up to the quarterback. And even if there was a route they wanted Steve to run, the wide receivers coach had to tell Steve, here's what we want you to do. And because Jeff Davidson had repeatedly told him, we're going to move you around in the offense to get you open, to get you the ball more. And each year, Jeff Davidson didn't do it for whatever excuse or another. And Steve just got tired of it. So that was Steve's response. But anyway, and all this led to Cam Newton getting drafted. And I mean, and even then, we didn't have good years under Cam at first because the defense was so bad. Because they had let the talent go for so long. Because by then, Marty was making up for mistakes. Marty drafted Everett Brown, who was one like 40 pounds or 240 or something, 245. He was too light and skinny really to play defensive end in a 4-3.
Right.
And he also drafted Eric Norwood, who was 235. So, and both of those were like one was a sixth, but one was a second round, and the other was a fourth round pick. So you're tying up these guys into backups that couldn't fill the spots. You know what I'm saying? And it got to a point our defense just didn't have a lot of talent in them. And the offense was leading. And I mean, even then, our corners was Captain Mutterland and Chris Gamble was there for a year. But then you had Robert McLean, you had Brandon Hogan, Stanford, R.J. Stanford. You had Charles Godfrey and Sherrod Martin safeties. So, I mean, but we've had lower seasons before.
Yeah.
Okay, where you won, and that was the negative part at the time, because back then you would win a season, maybe make the playoffs. The very next season you'd have like 5 or 6 wins.
Right.
Then you would make the playoffs. The very next year you had won 5 or 6 games. Then you would make the playoffs, then you win 5 or 6 games. And it was so
Right.
stupid because it was never good, and they could never keep the senses right. And it was very aggravating. But I mean, but as far as like this many losses in a row, I don't remember this many losses in a row. But you got to remember, we're in every game. That's what I
Yeah,
said before, JJ.
we're not
This
getting blown
reminds
out.
me, yeah, this reminds me more of the 2001 season than it does the 20, uh, uh, what was it? The
I'm sorry,
2009
Pickle.
10 season.
You just went on and on and on.
Yes, I'm aware of that. I do that sometimes. So
What's happening?
Cole's here. He's going to help me
Hey,
out, man. He'll
welcome
tell me
Cole
all
to
I
the
need
show.
to
How
know.
we doing?
What up,
Kyle,
Cole?
Kyle, I'm gonna keep it really honest with you, man. I would have been here earlier, but we had a nice little recording session. I had to go get me some cookout and some grub. I'm back
Yeah.
fresh, man.
Hey, yeah, keep it.
How
keep
are
it
you?
going.
What did I just?
Got-
What am I jump?
Nice
What did I
shirt,
jump in
nice,
on? What did I
nice
miss?
hat.
Oh, I was
Alright.
telling JJ about this isn't the only bad season we've had. We've had some bad seasons.
Oh, how far you want to go back, buddy?
Does this remind you of the Clausen years or the 01 year?
I got to stand by what I said the last time we spoke. This feels worse than Clausen because at least with
Yes.
Clausen we had a direction.
Yes. Yeah. Well, we knew once we made it through Clausen, we was getting a new quarterback. We was getting a new coach. We
Halfway
was
through.
probably getting a new GM. We knew after that season everything was changing.
And then it got to a point where we knew where we were getting Cam while our season was still going on, so that
Yeah.
made it
Yeah.
a lot better.
Yeah.
I wasn't happy at the time over that, but that's a whole new different ballgame. I didn't at the time. I said I don't like running quarterbacks. They want to run it instead of throwing it. But then after we drafted Cam and I watched him play a few games, I no, I'm not like this dude. But
That
anyway,
really worked
that's
for
a whole
us.
new different ballgame.
Absolutely. You can do a whole show about that.
I just hate that Bryce hasn't brought an identity to this team, and I don't think he will. I mean,
I understand why you feel like that.
Because he's Mac Jones and Stenson Bennett put together.
Oh God, don't do him
exactly.
like that.
Like, I mean, it's
You
terrible.
think he's
but at
that
the same
bad,
time-
JJ?
Well, no, that's like, bro, like I thought about it. I was like, man, what is this like? Because I'm like taking Bryce Young's name off of it. If I had to like say what it looks like out there on the football field at the quarterback position, it looks like Mac Jones and Stenson Bennett were put together, and that's what we're working with right now. Like, that's what I
Paid a lot
meant.
for that.
Yeah, yes, we did, bro. And
Paid a
I
lot
said
for
it
that.
yesterday on the show. I don't know if you heard, but I was like, man, does anyone else feel like we got a 5th-round quarterback back there?
Welcome back to the show, Jake.
I didn't mean to back out. I'm playing Madden, bro, and I hit my phone.
Oh, you're good.
Till they take his training wheels off, it's going to continue to look like that.
Yeah.
That's true. That's what I say. It was so many screen passes the other day. It was atrocious. I mean, we literally broke the NFL record for the screen passes in a game.
Had to have been.
I mean,
And
it's atrocious. I
unbelievable.
mean, the NFL media. I listened to a Sirius XM radio today. They kind of snickered about it. I mean, they say there's not, and his exact words, where he said they're not. And this is Charlie Wise. There's multiple names you would recognize. Rich Gannon, multiple names you would recognize.
Yeah.
That all said that's not very good coaching going on up there. It's not very good quarterback play. And Rich Gannon even popped in. He said, yeah, but one affects the other. If your coaches aren't coaching right, a rookie quarterback can't play quarterback right. If your offensive, if he at the same time fighting the offensive line or the lack thereof, and he's also trying to find receivers who can't get open, it's only a recipe for disaster. But he said he's got too much talented coaches on that staff for this to happen long term. And that's what I ask. Why? Where's Jim Caldwell at? He's supposed to be this offensive guy that we were going to rely on when times got tough. The times are tough. Where's Jim Caldwell?
They're just like players, man. They're name value, but they're old.
I mean, well, that's what I mean.
They ain't the same.
Yeah, but I mean, he's not the only one. We depended on these guys. Where's Deuce Staley at? Where's Thomas Brown at? Were y'all sitting in a corner somewhere hiding? Walk to the forefront. Tell me about why these problems are going down. I know Thomas Brown. I know Thomas Brown, and I know our defensive coordinator do an interview every Thursday. They do.
Y'all are
They do
like,
interviews.
speak
They
up,
do.
man. David Tepper hired them. They're just
They
a bunch
do
of yes
interview.
men.
But at the same time, those guys can only do what's been given. So it's not like
Absolutely.
the offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator for the majority of the time can go out and pick their players. But so Scott
Right.
Fitterer, you lied. You said we were going to
Oh,
be better. You said the coaches were excellent. You said Bryce had all
Said a
this and all
roster is
that. You
better.
don't. You said we didn't need a number one because our quarterback was so damn good. None of that's true. Walk to the podium, Mr. Scott Fitterer. We want to hear from your ass.
I want to hear from David Tepper more than
Thank
motherfucking
Kyle,
you.
I got a
anybody.
Well,
question
yeah,
for you, and it's
and
perfect timing.
that's a whole new different ballgame, Jake. Kyle, Jake, let me ask y'all this question. I want you to close your eyes and think about the draft. I want you to
all right.
remember what was told. Remember
Oh God.
what Tepper said.
Hmm.
Tepper said, and Scott Fitterer agreed, they were going to trade up to the third position, right?
I was so
Yeah.
Third,
excited.
the third. And then David Tepper said, why not trade for first?
Hmm.
Now, what happens if we would have stayed at third? Would
Uh,
we have had to trade our wide receiver? Nope.
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 Would we have had to trade a bunch of picks we didn't have to trade? Nope.
Nope.
Probably not.
Now,
No.
granted, hypothetically, say nobody else traded to the number one spot. Bears probably would have took a defensive guy, right? Maybe Anderson. That maybe. And hypothetically, you know, the Texans still loved Bryce at the time, right?
They
Yeah.
did.
So
No,
who would
That
have
was their
fell
number
in our
one.
lap? Well, I
Right.
mean,
no.
Exactly.
That
rumor
was
at the time
smoke.
was the Texans. Well, okay.
I don't think it was
I
smoke.
don't.
I
I
don't think
don't
it's
think it
smoke,
was
JJ.
smoke.
I think the
I don't
Texans
I
think it
did
think it
was
like
was
smoke.
Bryce.
smoke.
I don't
No,
think
no,
it
no.
was smoke.
Hold on, Pickle.
I
I'm
don't think it
messing
was
with
smoke
JJ
either.
on that
Hold on.
one.
Let me go with this real quick because I brought it up in my call. It is no coincidence that the Colts GM out of nowhere is complaining about these about the rumors and criticizing CJ Stroud and all that BS. It's the Colts GM. He said they got their guy. They got their guy, and it also fit their head coach and what they wanted to do. So it sounded like they actually got their guy. But
Yeah,
the
I
Colts
don't
are
deny that.
hold on, Pickle. I wasn't finished. Give me a second. I'm sorry.
Damn.
But no. It
It's
ain't
I'm
okay there,
just
personal.
brothers.
joking.
It ain't
I'm just
personal.
joking.
But the Colts are in the same division as the Texans, bro. And
Mhm.
it's no coincidence that just before the draft, all this, oh my God, the Texans want Bryce Young. Wait a second. If you're trying to trade up, bro, like, why are you why are you just giving? Why is there all these rumors about you wanting Bryce Young and this and that, and then boom, there's all these bad rumors about Stroud. Boom, he still went number two. He still went
Right.
number two, and it just seemed like it was just too perfect. It was too. It felt like it fit too much, and it looks like it works too, bro. It looks like this was a full plan, and it's just. I feel like the coach GM spoke up because he knew about it.
I
JJ,
respect
yeah,
JJ. I don't agree. I don't agree with
I
you.
don't agree either.
I'm gonna
And the
give you
reason
mine. I'm
why,
gonna give you my opinion. Go ahead, Jake. You go ahead.
well, the reason why is because the Texans were trying to get the number one pick. They
Right,
was trying to
right.
trade to get the number one,
And
just like we was.
Who's to say they
who,
didn't want Stroud?
who's the Texans head coach?
He the guy from
D'Amico
49ers,
Ryan,
defensive coordinator. Yeah.
Oh
Exactly,
yeah,
D'Amico Ryans. Who's
Demeco.
the Texans offensive coordinator?
Couldn't
the
tell you.
one of the guys from the Shanahan tree.
Exactly. Shanahan loves the quick passes. Quicker you can pass, the better. Bryce Young fits that offense to
You
a
mean
T.
CJ Stroud fits that?
Yeah, I
No,
was gonna say CJ
You mean
Stroud
no.
gets that
CJ
ball
Stroud
out
fits
faster.
that?
I'm not saying that. You're not listening to what I'm saying.
No. I know what you're saying.
According to reports before the draft, multiple reports, not just one guy, multiple reports, they wanted Bryce Young. Now, because if you remember the conversation as the draft approaches, we had already traded up for it. And my first scenario is basically we don't trade up. We keep our wide receiver. We keep a lot of the extra picks we got from McCaffrey, and we still get C.J. Stroud because he drops to third. Now, in the scenario that happened, we traded up, but the Texans wasn't considering getting a quarterback. They were going to go with Anderson, remember? And their fan base raised the hell. The fan base
Bears.
raised hell
You
over
mean
it.
the Bears?
No, the Texans fan base raised hell because after we traded up, right, and we were going to take Bryce. It was
Right.
kind of knowledge to that we were going to take Bryce.
Mhm.
And the Texans fan base said, so you're going to take a defensive end, you're not going to take a quarterback, and we're going to get stuck with Miles as our fucking quarterback. The Texans fan base raised hell for it. Well, the owner heard them. So the owner calls up the coaches and the GMs, and they talk a little bit. And next thing you know, they're drafting Stroud at number 2, and they're trading with the Cardinals to get the 3rd spot, so they can take the guy the head coach actually wanted, which was the defensive end.
Will
So
Anderson, yeah.
I think
Everybody happy.
I think in this scenario, if the owners would have kept
Not
their
us.
fucking mouth
Not us, Cole.
shut,
No,
We are not
they're
happy.
You're the
if
ones
the
that
own
They're-
in my
yeah.
scenario, if David Tepper would have kept his ass in the fucking closet where it damn belongs,
Damn
we
right,
got the
Pickle.
quarterback that fits what our head coach wanted to do,
Goodness.
What?
but he
Yo,
didn't.
let me ask y'all this, bro. What the fuck is the point of wanting an offensive minded head coach so much if you're not gonna let him pick his own quarterback?
That's what I've been
I
saying.
don't have an
lately,
Ask
answer.
David Tepper. Ask
That's a
David
very
David
good
I
Tepper that
don't have
question.
an answer.
You know
Dude,
the answer.
I'm sorry. I am now believing that.
Oh, now you
I
want to
don't
believe
don't
David
know.
Tepper
I
got so
don't.
much
But
to
no,
do
no,
with
no, no. I don't believe I'm going to say this
it.
because I cussed that man for a long time. Cole knows what I'm going to do.
I know what you're
I
about to do.
can't
Tell me.
believe I'm going to believe that Jerry Richardson
I
was right.
knew it.
A defensive coach
Oh
with a
no.
power run
knew it.
game is best.
Yes, sir.
I can't
Absolutely.
believe
I got
I'm
your
going to
back.
say
Damn.
that.
I got your back. Play some damn defense too, Pickle, with some heart. Stick your
Yes.
nose in there and make a tackle.
Play that old-fashioned, it never failed 4-3 defense. The same 4-3 defense that went to the Super Bowl and represented the NFC title champions. A
That's why
David
they scored
4-3
Tepper-
21
defense.
points. Scored
A
21 points and win
4-3
the game.
defense.
Yeah.
Yeah, a
Scored
4-3
21
defense.
points with the defenses we had.
Yeah,
We would win those
there
games.
has, with respect, there's been some good 3-4 defenses in history. But let's be
Pittsburgh.
real. You look at our 4-3 defense and you look at the Ravens 4-3 defense, you'll see a large difference. What's the difference?
Way different.
Talent level, experience,
Oh, you're talking
Personnel.
about
knowledge of what they're
3-4?
doing. We don't
You're
have
talking
that.
about now. Talking about now, like our
Oh yeah,
scheme
the
now.
Ravens did switch
Yeah.
it to a 4-3, didn't they? They're not in a 3-4 anymore. They're usually traditionally 3-4.
Well, no, I said. Well, I'm sorry. I said that the other day when
Yeah,
I
you kept saying.
I goof up on this. I talked.
Oh
I give
no,
myself
okay. I
carried
totally
away.
get what you're saying now. Then. All
Yeah,
right, I was
yeah. The
confused in
Ravens
that.
are a 3-4 team. They have been for
Yeah.
years. They have
Yes.
experience and knowledge.
Yeah.
Look at their depth chart because this is folks that they don't build in 1 year. They actually do this long term.
Man, I tried to
Just
tell
like the
people
Steelers.
Justin Houston wasn't moving the needle worth shit, bro.
Well,
He
how
was
long was he
did.
there though?
He got
How long?
he got manufactured pressures and sacks.
Right.
That
But how
signing
long
wasn't
was he
shit.
there? How long
Huh?
was he with the Ravens? 1 year. 1 year. He just come in for a
Yeah.
backup. Now, if you look right now, they got Patrick Queens, Rokon Smith. Why they got Rokon? Because their experience enough. They understand the value of getting a veteran player that fits their
He's
defense.
elite.
Especially
Man,
a linebacker.
forget
Pickle.
Well,
that.
you get what I'm
Experienced
saying.
veteran. This and
Exactly.
that.
Yeah.
Man, Roquan Smith is an elite
Right.
player,
Now,
and
Yeah,
you have
they're
the talent
explosive as
to
hell. Both of them.
execute a 3-4 and stop the run properly.
exactly. Now,
So that way you
recently,
can pin your ears back and rush the
yeah,
passer better.
recently they put David Obaja. I'm going to butcher this
Oh,
damn
Go,
name.
don't
David
even do it. I know.
Ojolari.
Yeah, on IR, but he was supposed to be there. Now, what they do this past draft? I think it was the second or third round. They drafted Trent Simpson. He's going to be a backup, a stud linebacker, inside linebacker, like at a backup. But who hits free agency this coming season?
Patrick Queen.
Patrick Queen goes to free agency. So you let Patrick walk. Trent next year, Trent Sampson. steps right
Plug
into
'em in.
play.
Right.
That veteran experience developing. Look at their safety. Kyle Hamilton. Now, there was a point they drafted Kyle Hamilton a year or two ago, and it's like, you already got a safety. You don't
He was
need
a
it.
dog at Notre Dame.
He
But
was
what
a
they
dog at
do,
Notre Dame.
they
They groomed
bought
him.
their time. Contracts ended, so they don't have dead cap, and he stepped right in as a starter.
Yep.
You know, and it's intelligent drafting and developing at that point. Their nose tackle, they're so good at drafting nose tackle. Their nose tackle is Michael Pierce. Y'all remember where he was drafted?
I do
Mm-mm.
not.
He wasn't.
Was he a later on pick?
He was the
No,
undrafted guy.
not all.
Oh,
Travis
Mm.
Jones.
That
And
just goes to
I
show
know,
how
yeah,
good they
Travis
develop.
Jones, because I traded for Travis Jones on Madden the other day. I wished I hadn't, but anyway, shape or form. But he's a big guy too. He's 6'4", 338.
Wow.
And you know, Pierce is a big man too. And Michael Pierce is 6 foot 355, a big man. Now, you know who our nose tackle is, right? Our nose tackle
Shy
is
Tuttle.
Shy Tuttle, who's like 300
Yeah.
pounds.
Yeah.
And I like Shy Tuttle. Don't misunderstand that. But Shy Tuttle doesn't fit a 3'4". He doesn't fit that. You can watch. His nickname in the locker room is or his common knowledge they laugh at him about because he's always tired. He's always worn out. He's a 2-down player. It's what the Saints fans told us, and they were right. He's a 2-down player. But you got at one of their ends is Broderick Washington. He's 6'2", 315 pounds. The other end is
Isn't it Odafe
is
Owe?
yeah, it is. It is. I'm glad you said that, dude. I never would say that. And
Yeah.
he's 6'3", 305. Now, our ends ain't that good. They just ain't. And and they have one backup between them. And is Brent Urban, and he's 309. Now that brings us back to something that I pointed out on the thing the other day, and a lot of people don't know this. The Panthers have an experienced 3-4 end on their team. It's been in the league for I got myself all messed up here. He's been in their league for I think 6 years.
Marquise Haynes.
Nope. Now
Justin
he's a
Houston?
3-4 end. He's a 3-4 end. He's on the practice squad. A lot of people don't
Oh,
realize
never
it.
mind.
Chris Wormley, 6'5",
Oh yeah.
300. You know, he played in Baltimore. Then he went from the Baltimore to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Right.
He's been in the league for 7 years. He at one point he had 5.5 sacks in 2016. The last time, I think it was last year, he had 7 sacks, or year before last, he had 7 sacks. He had some injuries that kept him out last year, but he's fine, been on the practice squad all year, and just sitting there. Now, with all our issues of stopping the run, would you not have thought we would at least bring him to the forefront?
At least dressed him for a game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, okay, at least try. At least try. What's it going to kill you?
Right. What is the plan, and not what does it hurt your team in any way, shape, or form to not dress someone
Exactly.
that might
That's my
fit
point.
well? And he's
Yeah.
experienced. If he's not a rookie, I mean, if he was a rookie, I would understand that.
Yeah,
but,
if he's a rookie,
he's
then
not
you
a
kinda-
rookie.
He's
Like,
not a rookie.
why
He's having
wouldn't
7
you
years
take-
experience.
You're
So
not
why
like,
is he
that's-
just riding the bench? That's my
not
The
question.
really-
level
to the
of
team.
incompetence is just hurting my head.
Yeah, and okay, and I don't know if y'all have noticed this in the game. Cole, we just watched the tape. Chandler Zavala, y'all, is not cutting it. Maybe he'll be good someday. This is not those days.
That was painful.
You're hurting his development long term. You might as well just cut him right now. You're hurting his development that bad that you're playing him. You really are. Now, I'm not going to lie. He's playing like no, actually, I think Greg Little played better than Zavala. They're two different positions, but I think Greg Little played better than Chandler Zavala is doing.
That's the last
He's
thing
playing like Mike Remmers in a Super Bowl. Is what you're trying to say?
worse.
He's awful. He don't hold the blocks. He more than once will get swift just by barely tapping to push him out of the way because he's not balanced on his feet. He just gets shoved out of the way
what
easy.
the fuck, bro?
And
Like,
I understand if he's all you got, he's all you got. But let's be real, he's a third round rookie. Now,
for
why not give Nash Jansen a
Still too
try?
high.
Cade Mays a try. Okay, Cade Mays failed here for the first game of the year. You don't want to do him because he failed at right guard. All right, I'm over that. Right? Okay, but you have David Sharp, 330 pounds. We got him lined up at backup right tackle. You got
What about
Nash
the other
Jansen.
veteran guard?
You got a Nash. The other veteran we have on our practice squad, Justin
Yeah.
McCray,
Yeah.
experienced, standing on the practice squad, twirling. He's playing pinochle with Chris Wormley, right along with Dante Brown, playing pinochle on the practice squad.
so I
If
got a
it's
question
broke,
for y'all.
you fix it. Or try to fix it. I'm not saying neither one of these guys are world beaters. You might put him in for a game and say, yeah, this ain't working. Get him out of there. But at least try.
Pickle, from
At
what we
least
just watched, he's
Deontay
in
Brown, you
over
have
his head.
size.
Zavala
let
is
me
just
a-
getting
let me ask
manhandled. It's
y'all.
nothing special. He's man on man, just getting dominated every single play, and it's really tough to watch.
Right.
Bad.
And it's not. He's not
Absolutely.
getting. He's just getting beat man on man. He's just.
Yeah.
He can't. Man, it don't matter who you put against him. He can't hold
No,
him.
doesn't matter.
He's not ready to play in the NFL yet. He's really not.
He's got to get bigger. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, no. Yeah, he's just not. He's not there. He's not.
So
not
with
nice.
our second round pick next year, what position do y'all think should we go with?
best player
Like, which
available
one's
is
the
bad
biggest-
as we
Defensive
are.
end, Brian Burns is going to be on
to be
the tag.
To be honest, I'm going to go with Cole. Best player
Yeah.
available.
Best player.
Because there's
Too
not
many
a lot of
holes.
positions. Okay, if they get a top level, if they get a wide receiver in the second, would it be a bad pick? Ask you
No,
go
'cause you
through
could use
every
it.
draft pick. If they would draft a running back, would it be a bad pick?
No, because
If
you
they
could use
drafted
it.
tight end, would it be a bad? Any
No, 'cause you could
offensive
use it. He'd
lineman,
start.
Can,
He was
can we
Any
draft
defensive
5 players
lineman.
with one pick?
a linebacker, a corner, a safety. There ain't a
They
bad
would all
position.
start.
Not
They
granted,
would
if
all
they draft
start.
a kicker or a punter with the second pitch, we might have a conversation.
You
But
don't want a
You
long
said
snapper?
quarterback? Can we draft a
That's what I
quarterback?
was about to say.
Quarterback.
Where's
Now,
that
if they-
technical difficulty button at?
Oh my goodness! If they draft a quarterback in the second round next year, I
Yeah,
think there'll be a
look.
very
Well,
large.
The way we do
competition
things,
for
y'all don't even
Carolina.
need to say
I-
that because it can
right.
happen.
Right.
It can.
Right.
It's
But
like
hey,
it
oh,
can.
no.
hey,
Talk
let
about
me
it.
ask you this. What's the
Cole's
dude for
frustrated.
what's the dude for
I'm just
for
telling
NC
you.
State? There's a
Nah, I
quarterback for
feel
NC
ya.
State. What's his name? The quarterback for NC State.
Oh, you want to get me started on that right now, Pickle?
No,
You talking about the one that got benched?
No, it might not be NC State.
Are you talking about
Drake
somebody-
Mays? Who's he play for?
Oh, you talking about the
for
exact-
North Carolina,
Exactly.
USC.
Yeah.
Is
Drake
that what
May.
it is? USC.
the shittier football team.
Yeah.
Okay, football,
Anyway,
yeah, but
there's a
don't bring up
quarterback
basketball.
That's young, and last year everybody was slobbering into the mouth over him.
And they still
Yeah,
are.
Drake
And y'all
May.
know
They
I'm
still
not good
are.
at quarterback names, but right. Well, then he played a couple bad games, and people said, "Well, he won't be a top pick." Well, hypothetically, and we've seen it worse. Cole, you've seen it worse. Top
Spencer
level
Spencer Rattler
quarterbacks
was there in the
drop
second round. I ain't
drop
gonna
to the
lie.
second round. That's my question. If a quarterback that's highly drops to the second,
I'm taking a
first pick
pickle.
in the second
I'm
round,
taking
I
it.
don't
y'all
think
think
Spencer
who was that
Rattler's
dude
gonna-
that
All
dropped?
right.
I think
Who was that
Spencer
dude
Rattler's
Who was
gonna
that
be
dude that
legit,
dropped
bro.
in this draft that everybody was slobbering
I
over?
talk so much shit about the Gamecocks, but bro, I'm gonna be honest. The way
You talking
I
about the
see
banana mayo eating some bitch?
no, that's
Levis.
bro.
No.
Oh, he's on
No, that's
Levis.
Will Levis.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're right.
the
You're right.
guy for the
That's not.
Gamecocks,
Yeah.
Spencer
Forget what I
Rattler.
said this year.
Man, he looks good, bro. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. It feels like Spencer Rattler has a chip on his
Right.
shoulder, and he plays to
He
big
does.
moments sometimes.
Right.
And that's I
We
felt
already
that
got
with
Spencer
CJ
Rattler.
sometimes. You said what?
We already got Spencer Rattler.
Yeah, all right. But
Y'all said
nah,
we should get
He's
Shadur
worse than
Sanders.
Spencer
hey,
Rattler.
no, Shador Sanders is wild.
Shador.
Not even Dion can save us. Anyways, Kyle,
Yeah.
man, if we draft a defensive end, man, fuck sakes.
It can happen.
But
Telling you.
and also you have to ask though. Hypothetically, I'm going to assume we're still going to run the 3-4.
Or no, I meant
So
if we
we
draft
needed.
at the end because we don't keep Burns. That's what I meant to say.
Oh, okay,
If
I
we
got.
keep
Yeah,
Burns and
well,
draft another defensive end, I'm cool
no,
with
I'm
that. But if we
saying
lose Burns, in my opinion, man, you just got to forget the defense for an off season for a second, bro. Because if there's no replacing Burns. You're not fixing the defense. You should just get the O line help if that's the case.
How high do you think that Georgia tight end is going to go in the draft?
Top three,
JJ, I'm going to throw
5.
these out to you because y'all know football and y'all know college names and I don't. Y'all know that. I don't deny that. I don't deny that. I don't know the
Yeah,
names.
list
You
the
do.
names.
So Tankathon in their mock draft has us at pick 33, taking Michael Hall Jr., D-line from Ohio State.
Who? Say the name again.
What about it,
Michael
JJ?
Hall Jr. He's 6'2" and weighs 290. He's a D-line from Ohio State.
No.
JJ,
6'2".
no outburst.
Damn.
Ringing the
Steve,
bell
I don't
right
like
now.
that.
He's an
Nah,
Ohio
I
State guy.
don't
That
know
ain't
everything.
good.
It's hard to keep up with college sometimes because like
It is. Thank you,
players
transfer
can't.
portal.
But I know Tyleek
Yeah.
Williams, that D tackle for Ohio State. That motherfucker
Yeah.
makes plays, bro. I know him.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I'd be
They
wrong sometimes too. Like the right tackle for the
yeah.
Browns, Dawan
They
Jones. I was not a fan of him
yeah.
in college at all. So it's
They
not like I'd be just biased towards my Buckeyes, but
yeah.
yeah, it's not ringing a bell right now.
Okay. All right. Well, now they said in apparently he's been there. They said in 23 so far. In 23, he's played in 4 games. He's got 4 solo tackles, 4 assistant tackles, with a total of 8. He has 1 tackle for loss and 1 sack. But last year in 22, he played in 12 games with 9 solo, 10 assists for a total of 19 for 7.5 tackles for losses and 4.4 sacks, 4.5 sacks, and 1 fumble recovery. So,
Yeah, I'm going
there's
to take a pass on
there's
that.
a 2021 stats, but it's irrelevant. So,
yeah. I mean,
but
that
I'm
was
just
good.
saying, according to Tankathon, they view one of our needs as our top needs, and the second is D line. I can't deny that may be issue, but at the
They could
same
have said
time,
anything and we
as
would agree.
you're right, you're absolutely right. That's why I
They
say
could
the
have
other
said
day y'all asked me
quarterback,
that
and I
in
would have been
spaces.
like, I don't see no lies.
Yeah,
Is it long snapper?
the other day,
Well, I don't
somebody
know.
somebody asked that in spaces the other day, and I'm like, what position do you say is wrong? Not count special
Long
teams.
snapper.
What position? Not count special teams. What position is wrong? At this
None.
point, what position is wrong?
I can't think of
None.
somebody that.
They say center.
I'm trying
You
hard
can't
as I
deny
can.
that wouldn't be a problem. You know, you
Anyway,
take tight end. Yeah, that's good. If they draft a fullback, I'm not going to complain.
Look, we have a power
I
run.
mean, the way we are, he might be the best. He might be the best power running back that's ever lived.
let's run it 40
Shit,
times.
we could use a new kicker too.
But leave Zane out of it. Zane
Well,
is the only safe one right now. Leave him
Yeah,
alone.
and listen, now y'all let's be real here.
And Derek.
That punter older than me. It might be.
Oh yeah,
time
we
to hang
keep
his
talking
ass.
about that.
You
Boom
said-
Boom is our best player on the special teams.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. If
Zane,
he's
I
older
thought he
than
was
me.
Eddie.
He might
It's
not
Eddie
be
P.
older than me.
I think it's Johnny Boom Boom. Johnny Boom Boom's a hell of a punter.
Y'all know how y'all
We're having
know
a whole
how
nother
old
discussion.
a long snapper is.
This is probably
I
older than
thought
I
about
am.
this
How
the
old
other
is
day.
I don't
'cause
know, but I like the
looked it up.
cart talks. The cart talks are
Y'all
awesome.
have
Wow.
absolutely. I'm gonna look that up real quick while y'all talk. I'm gonna let y'all know that. I looked that up the other day because I was just curious on how long
JJ
he had been a
Jansen is
Panther.
57 and
Oh,
a half
man.
years old out in that.
We traded the Green Bay Packers for him. If you believe that.
I mean, at
Yeah,
least
we
we
did.
have a trade in our history where we're like, damn, we really hit that one.
Y'all know he's gonna
Yeah.
mess up on Sunday now. Y'all done jinxed
Don't
him.
say that. Don't
No.
wish that on him. Don't wish that on him.
I've
You
never
put that
seen him
evil on him,
airmail
Ricky
shit
Bobby.
one time. Watch what happens now. I'm blaming y'all for that shit when it happens.
Oh shit!
You said it, not me.
That man's been around since that Jake Malone era.
We've had him since we traded for him in the 2009 season.
That is unbelievable.
He's
Yeah.
seen John Fox and Jake Delhomme and Steve Smith and Julius Pepper.
Matt Moore.
Yeah,
all come and go.
I mean, all come and go. Jeff King, I'm just glancing at his name, is a tight end back then. You know what I read the other day that I did not know? Jeff
Forgot
King
Jeff
works
King.
in the office of a current NFL franchise
Which one?
as a scout analyst. He's a top level scout.
I bet you it's in our
Where
Division
his
2, ain't
ass
it,
home?
Pickle?
Nope.
It's not in our
right.
division?
It's out west. It's out west somewhere. I think it's if I remember correctly, and it's a team that he has no connections with as a player. It threw me off guard.
Probably
It
the
may
best
have
way to
been
be.
the Cardinals.
I was about to say it feels like Arizona, but I could be totally
So,
wrong.
I don't remember exactly where he's working at now
Seattle.
I felt like I read that today too.
because it threw me off because I saw I was just getting sometimes. See, this is what being old gets you asses, folks. It's what y'all boys don't understand. When you're old, you think of this bullshit sometimes, and you have to think, well, what the hell's that dude doing now that I saw 20 damn fucking years ago?
Well, shit,
Then
I'm
you look
already
him
doing
up.
that.
You
Pickle.
look him up, and he was a millionaire back in the day, and his ass goes out and finds another job making another millionaire. Here, I'm living in a fucking trailer park.
I mean, y'all could
Mm.
meet
Throw
Greg
my ass.
Hardy at your local Walmart in a technology aisle.
Yeah.
Hey,
I
he's
wonder.
proud of that
wonder
shit,
if
too.
Or
anybody
you can
goes in
meet
there. I
Jacob
wonder if anybody
under a
goes in there
bridge.
on Sundays and wants
Fuck
to know
you,
if he wants to
JJ.
know if he's watching the game. Yeah, he is the. Here he is. He's the co-director of player personnel for
That's
the
why you ain't ever given
Chicago
that money
Bears.
that G Baby owes you.
I
Yeah,
ain't the only one.
he's
So
the co-director
I
of
guess I don't feel
player
special.
personnel for the Chicago Bears.
Wow.
Who is?
Okay.
Jeff King.
Oh, so he
We
was
We should
after our
hire him as
picks.
our GM.
He was after our picks too. That son of a bitch, him.
Right.
Mhm.
He's like, oh, I get the fuck Carolina over.
But I mean,
Haha.
I mean, there's so much. There's so much back then. I mean, we had this damn kicker named Ryan Robinson. Not kicker. Excuse me.
You got me.
We had a wide receiver, kick returner, punt returner named Ryan Robertson. But back then we had John Casey, Jason Baker. Here's another thing,
I
JJ.
remember Baker.
JJ and JJ. We had Casey as our kicker and Jason Baker as our punter. We also had to carry an extra kicker. Why did we have to carry an extra kicker? Through like 3 or 4 seasons, we carried an extra kicker.
Because Casey
Casey
cost us
did-
the fucking Super Bowl,
Casey
bitch
did no
ass.
kickoffs. So
No, that wasn't it, Jake. Casey was so old he couldn't do kickoffs anymore.
yeah, you didn't.
So
Right.
we had Reese Loins to do kickoffs. We were so weird back then that Casey was like 199 years old. And I wonder how old he was when his ass retired. I don't remember. He
Pickle, why you
retired. We cut him, and then I'll tell you the truth of it. If I remember right, we cut him because we cut him when we roster purged, when we lost all them damn games on the Clawson years, and or maybe been before then.
Am I
So
the only one who
2010?
thinks we're
And
winning
then we
Sunday?
turned around,
Yes.
and we hired Rivera.
What'd you say, JJ?
I said, am I the only one who got the Panthers this Sunday?
Pickle, I gotta
Somebody
give
winning?
To win?
kickoff too.
Yeah.
Huh?
Oh,
the hell
buddy,
you
My
smoking,
Casey
JJ?
take off.
you
with
might
right
be,
quick.
JJ. You
Yeah.
might be. Listen, we ran all the fuck over them last year, but that is
We don't got
not gonna
Foreman.
happen this year. I mean, we may have run all over them, 320
Yeah.
rushing yards to be exact.
Yeah.
We do not have that type of attack from
Mhm.
the quarterback handing it off to the lineman blocking to the running back actually running. The
Not a
play.
damn thing.
Not
They're
even
taking
though
reps
Chuba
on the
Hubbard's
bench.
still on the team, he is
He
still.
ain't getting them reps though. He won't get them
It's
reps
not-
though.
It's not even close to what we put up with against
No.
them last year, and they've only gotten better. So, like at
Kate-
this point, I
Jared
don't
Goff has
think-
been turning the football over. We've been forcing some turnovers recently. We could get another. My call is we're getting another defensive touchdown this Sunday.
Oh, yeah,
Who turns the ball over worse, Bryce or Golf?
Bryce.
Bryce.
Now
He gonna fumble it instead of taking a sack like
yeah,
he should
Yeah, I
have.
was gonna say. I mean,
Casey
to me
was cut
personally,
on July the 28th of 2011, and we signed Orlando Marr. We loved them damn giant kickers, didn't we?
Kyle,
We
let me get
send
my John Casey talk
Orlando
after that.
Marr
I have to.
Yeah,
as our
go ahead.
kicker, because he also did kickoffs, by the way. And then and then Casey signed with he signed with the Saints.
Almost, JJ. I want to get my Casey take off, then we'll be good. All right, because Pickle might remember this game. It was a random ass game, so it has zero relevancy. Cam Newton's first time he ever played against Minnesota, may have been his rookie year. Only reason I'm telling this story is because it was the first ever NFL game I've ever been to in person. Cam Newton goes down the field under 2 minutes to go, no timeouts, sets up a 20-yard field goal for John Casey. No time left on the clock. Shanked that bitch to the right. And that's how my first NFL game ended.
Oh, it sucks.
Oh well, if we're gonna get a quick
this
story off,
Casey
let me get one
shit,
in
I
real
had
quick.
to.
Yeah.
What you got?
My first ever NFL game I went to in person was in 2018 when the Panthers went to Cleveland, and yeah, like we started off good with the lead and everything with CMC. He was kicking it, but man, I was just like the wheels were falling off, and then Cam threw that pick when we were gonna go down for a game-winning drive, and I was thinking in my head, I was like, man, Cam hasn't had a turnover, and like that like after that injury, he was having a lot of turnovers. So I was thinking, I was like, man, like I was like, he's been pretty clean this game. Like I complimented him in my head, and then it's like
It's
right
your fault,
after that,
JJ.
I know, right? Everything is. No,
I
I'm
feel like that
joking.
about
No, it's
myself.
not
It's
my
okay.
fault.
Some of it's probably my fault. It's all right.
No, I'm sure we all do. It's actually Pickle's fault if we're being real.
Yeah, I know.
Or G Baby.
No, Pickles
No,
and
it's
Seth doing
G
no
Baby's
shit.
Yeah,
fault.
it's definitely G baby.
It's G Baby's fault. Yeah, just blame it on G Baby.
He said he gonna smack the fuck out of Greg at that game.
Man, I smacked the fuck out of G Baby. I do it for Greg. I don't even.
I do it for you.
I was about to say some stupid shit like Greg ain't even my favorite co-host, but I slap the shit out of G Baby for him.
You just want to slap G baby. Everybody,
Damn right.
you cannot watch. You cannot tell me that you watch Friday Free for All for any consecutive amount of time and not wanted to smack the hell out of that bastard. Not.
Oh yeah. I mean, to be fair, I look
get it, Kyle.
forward. I look forward to the drama that he brings. I look forward to the entertainment and to the wild, crazy shit that he says. I look
Kyle
forward
believes
to
in
it,
content. It sounds like.
but
does
at
Cody.
the same time, you're like, okay, now this is going on long enough, sir. You're
Yeah,
a little out
G
there.
baby. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. We used to have a lot of kids come up through Friday Free for All. Okay, we had a couple of them. They used to stop by
This
all the
shit
time.
didn't last long with G Baby
that
coming
story
out.
No,
I'm
didn't-
sure.
with G
That story
baby,
did
with
not
G
start
baby,
off good.
with G
No.
baby was started ranting on things, and as soon as they popped in to visit for a little while,
Yep.
Cody wouldn't let him come on the show because G baby was so mouth.
Yeah.
And I always thought
So toxic.
I told him once. I said that's just wrong for them. You
Yeah, I
don't
mean,
let one guy. I mean,
look,
if I get aggravated, I scream, I yell. We all do sometimes. But if we see a kid come on and we're intelligent enough to calm ourselves and control
tone it
ourselves,
down. And
G-Baby's a
Got to.
father. He
not cuss
should
a
have
lot.
that ability to lower
Right.
himself immediately because he
I
is
would
a
agree.
dad. He knows how it is,
I would agree.
And
Like, what was that kid's name? Connor, that comes on.
Yeah,
Yes.
Connor. That's
Connor.
who I was
on that
thinking
show.
of. Yeah.
If that kid
Yeah.
if that could come on the show, man, I probably wouldn't cuss at all. I'd probably just
That's what I say. I
Yeah.
mean,
You got to keep it chill.
And he knows
but
more about the Panthers than a lot of
yeah,
people that's
he
actually on there.
knows.
Yeah, he knows his
he does.
stuff.
I like it. I like listening to him talk. All right, so we're about an hour and a half into this, so I'm gonna roundtable you guys with a question. I'll give you a little fun fact and my little spit here, and we'll shift to some Hornets news. I have very little for you tonight, although it is the second day of training camp. We got a little bit to talk about, but not too terribly much. So let's start with you, JJ. If you could point the finger at one person in the Panthers organization, player or front office member, that you could point to just one for their current situation, who would it be?
Without a shadow of a doubt
Starts
in my
with S.
mind. Without a single doubt in my mind. I'm not just pointing the finger, bro. I am slapping that lying son of a bitch across the face, bro. That bitch made motherfucker. That easily so punchable face. Son of a fucking cocksucker, David Tepper, bro. Him. Easily David Tepper. And it's without even a second thought. I wanted to interrupt you, but I was like, you know what? Nah, I'm gonna let him talk because that's just it's his show. Let me be nice. But I was like, man, I
Yeah,
wanted to make it funny and be like David Tepper and just say that. And
yeah.
then,
It
but
would have
like,
been funny if you would have cut me off. It would have been funny, but
nah,
I
yeah,
got you. I
without
got
a doubt.
you. All right, so Evan, what you got?
I honestly thought you were gonna say Scott Fitter. You were building it up like you were gonna say Scott Fitter, but I gotta say Scott Fitter because I mean it's either him or David Tepper, and I mean, or you could say Frank Reich, but I gotta say Scott Fitter because I mean he's just done such a poor job scouting with his scouts, getting talent in the later rounds, building around our franchise. I mean, he's just done such a bad job, and I'm hoping Bryce pans out, but it's looking like he might have drafted the wrong. Might not giving up on him yet though. I'm not giving up on Bryce yet.
Yeah, I don't want to give up on him too soon, but hopefully it pans out. Jake, what you got for me? What do you
David
think?
Tepper.
Can you?
Easy.
Yep,
David Tepper.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Thank
the
you.
only
Yeah,
thing that
get
he has
real
done
shit
for
up
this
in here.
organization is put the Panthers logo at midfield. That's the only thing. Anything else, fuck him.
at
He
least
brought
they
music
ain't
to Charlotte.
practicing in a ballroom. At least
And that
they
too.
practice
And
in a
that too.
ballroom.
And that too. Pickle. That's about it.
Cole, who are you gonna point the finger at?
And this is just a personal bias. It's nobody that has been named yet. I'm pointing all 10 of my damn fingers at Frank fucking Wright. Because these offensive play calls are absolutely abysmal, and you can't develop JV football players with this kind of bullshit. How are you going to do it with grown ass men?
I agree. Pickle, what you got?
I don't see any problem with anybody already mentioned. Okay, I don't. I'm not going to take David Tepper because he's
He
the
ain't on the
owner.
field.
He's the owner, and in reality, every team has to deal with an owner. They do.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got Jerry Jones owners. Sometimes you got the owner of the Titans who lives 5 states over and only shows up once a year, and then she fires or bitches about something, and that's all she ever
Right.
does. Right? Those owners who are useless to you. Okay. With a fan base needs the owner to step in because the GM and the coach don't get along like they don't in the Titans over who's going to start at quarterback. The owner lives in Houston. She'd give a damn rat's ass anyway. So, the only thing she wants to know when they call is, did we win or not?
Right.
So now, but I'm going to blame Scott Fitterer.
Yeah.
I'm like
Scotty.
JJ. I'm gonna slap the hell out of Scott Fitterer.
Thank you.
I might do it a couple
Him
times
too.
just for my pure pleasure, because you ain't. I blame him for the 24 draft, or for the 2022 draft and the 23 draft.
We've had some abysmal ones,
Yeah.
Pickle.
He ain't done a damn thing worth of shit.
No.
Now, what free agent has he brought in that's been excellent? None. That motherfucker ain't did a damn thing good since he got here. He can't draft. He can't scout. He can't hire good free agency. He can't do nothing unless you want to count bad free agency. Now he can do
He
that.
can't trade either.
He can, and he can't trade.
Yeah, he can't.
He
Hey,
can't do
Pickle, I'm
nothing.
gonna drop a starting quarterback on you, and we're gonna go to the playoffs.
Huh.
That's
Yeah, I'm
Scott
sure
fucking
your ass
Fitterer.
is.
You know what I'm saying? That's Scott Fitterer.
Just selling it like
Yeah.
a fucking
Yeah.
used car salesman.
Yeah,
That's what Scott Fitterer
And-
told
and-
all of us. I'm
and-
gonna drop you a
Selling it.
quarterback. We're
and,
going to
and
the
a
playoffs.
good GM, when the owner says why not trade to 3, then a good GM, and here's I want everybody to listen to me. A good GM walks over to the owner and says,
Mind you,
here's what we do. If we go to 1, it's going to cost us all these extras that we don't want to give up. Later in the
Right.
year, we're going to need a stud receiver, and we can't go get one in free agency. If we could, the Bears would have already got one, and the Cardinals wouldn't had to try to trade for one a couple years ago. Uh, and a bunch of teams around the league don't have a number 1 receiver. They don't even have a good number 2 receiver, and they're all looking for one any way they can get it.
Right.
What we need to do is hang on to DJ Moore because we've also already paid him.
Mhm.
If we have to trade a player, let's look at somebody who we know is going to cost a lot, and we may or may not resign him that still has a lot of trade value. What I'd rather do is not trade anybody because, and if you look at the talent between picks 1, 2, and 3, they don't really separate enough to cost you to lose a stud player plus a couple other first round picks. Now, that's what a good GM explains to
Very
David
true.
Tepper, and David Tepper, I'm assuming David Tepper would say, okay, I get what you're saying. Why? Because I think Marty Herney did that before.
Because the GM actually has to put it in a way
Yeah.
where the owner's
Yeah.
like, nah,
I mean,
you're not smarter
Yeah.
than me.
Let me ask you this: who talked David Tepper into not drafting Justin Fields?
Probably Matt Rule.
Right.
No,
So
I was
Matt,
gonna say Steve Wilkes.
okay, Justin Fields. I doubt it's Justin Fields. No,
Steve Wilkes was the
Steve Wilkes
defensive.
wasn't on the team at the
I
time.
know, but yeah, I guess that makes sense.
You
Yeah,
was just
you're good.
now.
You don't
But-
know, actually.
No,
I'll start
you
with
don't.
him.
Just like you don't know either. So, but
Oh goodness.
a good GM can do that. They've done it for
Mhm.
years. You just got to know how to handle an owner like David Tepper.
Right, you
It's
got to
been done.
talk
It's
to him
been
a
done all
certain
over
type
the-
of way.
Yeah, it's been done for years in the round of GM. You just have to know how to deal with it.
Yeah.
You have to know how to talk to him. You have to know how to explain things because overall he understands he's paying you for a reason.
Right.
there
He
may be
can't.
times
He can't
when
be
he-
allowed to just run him up.
Yeah,
and
there
make
there
decisions.
may be times that he does stuff, and you have to accept it. For
Right.
example, how he insistently wants to talk to every guy we draft. That, you know what? That makes him feel hot. That makes him feel important. I don't really
Right.
give a good fuck about it myself personally. Jerry Richardson never wanted to talk to every fucking player. Half these guys that we drafted didn't even know who David fucking Pepper didn't even know who Jerry Richardson was until they said, "Who's that old man driving around on that golf cart?"
And
That's
that's
a
how
fact.
it's supposed to
That's
be.
a fact. Now, there's a
Right.
lot of old owners like
That's
that.
how it's supposed to be.
The new owners, they want
Yeah.
importance, they want looked at. That's nice and pretty, but you got to have a GM who knows how to handle a guy
Fucking
like Tepper.
fuckface
And-
David Tepper.
And
wanna
right now,
put his small dick
all we
everywhere
got
and
is
just
a yes sir
be a
boss. Whatever you
bitch.
want.
Right.
You
Fitter
just
is just
gotta-
gonna do.
Fitter
Yeah,
Yeah,
is
we need a more
effectively
assertive GM.
Ugh.
yes, we do. We do. And the shameful part is Tepper hires the GM. But Tepper said before, not that you can believe anything he says either, but Tepper said before that he would prefer a GM that will stand up to him when he needs to.
Well, hopefully
Right.
Because
his
he
next
said,
one
I'm still a
will.
fan, and I may want to do things a fan does that I shouldn't do for the business.
I've seen
Like-
Scott go like this
Exactly.
the whole
Yep.
fucking time. Every time
That's
I
all
see
he
him on the
does.
screen. Every time I see him on the
Yeah.
screen, his head's down.
Right. Exactly. Don't you
Okay.
want to reach out, smack, and say, hold that head still, bitch?
Yeah, he's definitely a yes man.
Stop telling him yes. Just think about this. And that
Yeah.
brings me to my pick. I also think Scott Fitter is the number one person to point that finger at, because if Scott Fitter puts David Tepper in a position where he's like, listen, you may have the money, but I do this for a living. You need to let me do it. And puts him in a position where he's like, you know what? Okay, my bad. Here's your money. You do what you need to do. If he
Yes,
would have
sir.
just
Right.
done that, that would have been fine. Like, the overhype
Right.
of this season is just so real. And I was one of them suckers that bought
Me
into the
too.
bullshit.
Yep.
Yep,
I
me too.
know.
I
Yep.
ain't gonna lie.
Feels stupid
Yeah,
for feeling
mean,
like we were
I
once in
think
the
that happened to a
playoffs.
lot of us.
And at this
I
point,
did
you
not
know,
know. I
Yeah,
was
you
fighting
didn't,
with that
JJ.
man right up there. And what'd you say, Kyle?
you didn't buy
Oh,
in.
you were fighting
I bought
with
in.
him.
Man, I was about to say that man right up there in the top middle. I was fighting with him and Twan for an
Yep.
hour straight when I said we was gonna give the Bears a top 5 pick. Now, granted, I was
Ooh.
thinking maybe the 5th. You know, I was
Yeah.
really thinking we might be like 5 through 8 type pick, type BS. But like, Jesus, this bad. I did not expect this. I didn't
So
Yeah,
this
think we
shit
were
is
gonna
your
go
fault, is
0
what
and
you're telling
4.
me,
I did
JJ.
not expect
I-
that.
It is JJ's fault.
This shit's your fault. Now you said it was pickle, but it's really yours. You
Man,
called
a
it.
lot of the problems though I mentioned right up there in that clip, man. I
Hey,
ain't
G
gonna lie to
Baby's
y'all.
fault, yo.
It is G Baby's
When,
Yeah,
fault.
it's G Baby.
whenever G Baby says we good, we going to the Super Bowl, y'all know we fucked.
We're fucked.
We,
Absolutely.
we also got anytime G Baby says that he likes his player, we gotta not like that player, y'all.
Exactly.
We gotta not.
really bad.
How's that sucker off this list?
So I mean, to be honest, this was supposed to be Scott's year without Rule, so that he could
Right.
make all these superstar moves, because Rule held him back, and that's what the
Yeah.
whole storyline was,
He went
that
0 and
that he
5
was
with his
being held
draft
back,
picks.
and that he was not being able to do his job correctly. And to
Right.
be honest, that's bullshit. Like,
Yes, it is.
through these first 4 games,
Yeah,
it's becoming
Kyle.
increasingly apparent that this team was way better last year with the same players that it had than it is now after it's been retooled.
That's sad, Kyle.
Which-
All
which-
Scott Fitter has shown me
Pathetic.
Right.
is
with
how
the
to
defense-
let good players leave, and how
Right.
And we're
to
not even
trade for old
talking
players
with
that are
CMC. We're talking about the
past
team
their
last year.
Yeah.
Without
no. I'm talking about
CMC.
last year, like
Yeah,
after
yeah.
CMC.
The
Like,
back end.
Exactly.
we had more energy and more
Absolutely.
focus,
Passion.
and more drive and passion,
Well,
and
you
the
keep on
willingness
going
to score a
leadership,
fucking
all that
touchdown.
shit.
Like, we
Well,
had
if-
everything. We literally
Yeah.
had it. You know what I mean? And Scott
Was
Fitter
let-
and David Tepper went in there, and it was like, nah, man, we're going to fix this bullshit. And they fucked
They
it.
fixed it. All right. They fixed it. All right.
They
To me, last year when Wilkes took over, Wilkes uncomplicated the bullshit.
Oh, so
He
much.
said, offense, here's ball. See ball, run ball that way.
Run that bitch.
See
Literally.
offensive line, block all them sons of bitches in front of you. Uncomplicate this shit.
I love it.
Literally.
I miss it.
All right. And the
Yes.
defense, he said, you got 4 guys on line of scrimmage, 2 ends or 2 tackles. You go stop everybody, and if they don't run it, you're gonna attack that quarterback. That guy with the ball, knock the hell out of him. You know, and that's what you do. And I mean, granted, I'm sure it wasn't that simple, but in a lot of ways it was, because he uncomplicated that bullshit. That snow.
He would say things like, everything starts at the line of scrimmage.
And I
Right.
180
believe that.
rushing!
I 100,000% believe it happens at the line of scrimmage. If your
100%.
lines ain't good, your team ain't good,
Absolutely.
you fucked.
That's where you
Fuck.
need to start
Especially if you
Either
don't
side of the
have
ball.
know how to do that.
Either side.
And that's all Steve Wilkes did.
Mhm.
And when they let him walk away because he didn't fit David Tepper's philosophy, then it went all to hell in a handbasket because now we're too damn fucking
did.
complicated.
Yeah. Too complicated.
I don't know if it's
I agree.
complicated or not.
Tepper's a bitch.
Well, yeah, it's actually pretty simple. Yeah, to be honest with you, we'll run it. We'll run it. What 23 times for a total of 61 yards or something like that. We're gonna keep running
all
it, even though it's not working.
90% of
Throw
them
some
are screens.
Draw, screen, draw.
The very first play will be a run play.
You know you
first-
suck.
Oh yeah, I seen that
When
on
the
Twitter.
when the defense already at the start of the play, they already
Let's
go
put
to the
that up.
place where you're going to throw this ball.
I seen this on Twitter. Ran the ball
You
first
have
down
got to be
31
shitting
times
me.
for 55 yards. Are you kidding?
Yeah, we run the
What
ball on
is
first
that
down way
bullshit?
too much.
Way too
Unbelievable.
You
much.
can't make that shit up. You can't.
You can't. You couldn't write that in a story.
That makes
Like,
it worse.
That is horseshit.
And Frank Wright says, I've seen a lot of positives from what we've done.
Yeah.
That is not positive.
That's
That man has
coach
Alzheimer's, bro. I hate to say it, but
It's
Oh.
the
He's
got
exact same
something.
shit from
That
last
shit
year.
comes down to will and
All right.
manhood.
All right, here's how we got to fix this crap, okay? Let's be real. How have all
We
the other
tell you to
owners
shut
in
the
the
hell
league?
up.
No, they don't listen to me, dude. I wish they did. If they did,
Oh,
I would
man.
go right down there and scream at the top of my lungs, "Shut the hell up, David Tepper!"
I drive
But-
it every day.
Yeah, and
Every day.
I'd get a whole lot of people down there to help me, but it don't
Yeah,
help
you
work.
would.
So, what we got to do is how did they get rid of Jerry Richardson? How did they get rid of Dan Snyder?
That's what I was
allegations.
gonna say.
We got to find somebody with some allegations.
Yep.
We
That's
got to
what I
find
was gonna
somebody
say.
that
We gotta
said
get this
that
outta
that
here.
You gotta get
David
Nicole
Tepper
Tepper to
On the-
spill some
put on our
beans.
FBI
touched
badge.
Yeah.
their breast. We got to get somebody to say that David Tepper slapped him in the ass and he didn't like it. We got to find somebody to do this.
Some damn thing.
Who lives close to Charlotte?
Hey, Pickle, Nicole Tepper inappropriately touched me.
Did she?
Right.
And why you
Yeah,
complaining about that?
She's about to. She's about to.
He did the
I mean,
shit that
if
was
Nicole
back,
Tepper
too.
inappropriately touched me, I wouldn't complain about it. No.
I would complain.
Not a
about
damn
it.
bit.
On the team.
She might complain afterward, but she might say, "What the hell was I thinking?" But
There's your allegation. Run with that shit and start that.
yeah.
We need some salt.
Oh.
Jesus Christ, we're in hell.
Tell
I'm
everybody
sorry.
David Tepper called me a fat slob. I felt
Hey,
offended.
he called us all basement dwellers, didn't he?
He did.
Oh yeah, he called us basement.
We was
dwellers.
offended. We was offended.
Yeah.
Well, your basement dwellers know more about fucking football than you do, Sir Billionaire. I'm
I
sorry.
swear.
That's why he watches us basement
And
fellas
you're-
talking through
Yeah,
it out.
he
You're-
watches
He's just
this
been
shit.
listening to the
You're
wrong
a
son
head
of a
coach
somebody.
and,
Somebody told him to listen to
your
G Baby.
quarterback team.
Motherfucker.
Yeah,
What?
somebody told him to listen to G
Somebody told him to listen to G Baby. That's why he drafted Bryce.
Shit. Yeah.
That's
And
why
Anthony.
That's why he gave Dante Jackson that big fucking contract. That's why come Henderson's
Why we
still
traded
here.
for CJ
Oh my God, G
Henderson.
Baby's in his ear.
Yeah. That's what it was. It's all G Baby right up there next to Tepper.
Oh my
Yeah.
Jesus.
That actually kind of makes sense.
It
Yeah,
makes more sense than some of the shit we're doing.
Anthony's
on the
door
football field, I can
dashing
tell you
over
that.
there.
he's David Tepper's secretly been telling Brian Burns to play like shit most of the game.
And hype man Lucci's in on it too.
Hey,
Oh man.
just be a one-play wonder, Brian.
That's an
You
idea.
bitch.
That's an idea. Next time Anthony door dashes to David Tepper, we gotta get Anthony to pour a little bit in his food.
Hey man.
Take some inappropriate pictures of him.
We
or
might-
something.
we
I need
might-
to- is this it?
We might need to let Anthony know how things is going while he's spending 10 to life in prison. Well, I think of the benefit he's gonna do better than
Oh shit.
Oh boy.
If it gets
Yeah.
a ring, I'll think about it.
Oh man.
Yeah, we win the
Right.
Super Bowl. I'll take Anthony a jersey in prison.
Oh yeah.
We'll get a
I'm-
whole damn team to sign
I
it.
said, I appreciate what you did for us, Anthony. Here's the jersey. Oh yeah,
He gets on a long
I
time
don't
with
need to
Nicole
know why
Tepper
your
like 30
voice is
minutes.
higher than normal, Anthony. Well, not just 'cause you're a roommate.
Jesus
Oh.
Christ.
Oh no.
Y'all, it's
We're
time
all
for this
going to
Pickle to
hell.
go to bed.
Oh
It's
no.
time for
Yeah,
Pickle
I was
to go
about to
to
say
bed. This is
it's time for me to go to bed too. It's over with.
All right. Well,
Get
I'm about to
delirious.
flip over here to the Hornets news scene. So
enjoy
you guys
your
are...
Hornet talk, my friend.
Yes, sir, and Mr. Pickle, you have a wonderful night, and thanks for joining.
Fuck out of here.
Damn.
All right,
Perfect
let's
timing.
slide right into this, fellas. Dreams. These playoffs, these are dreams. These guys do not know. And man, just like the Panthers fans, man, these Hornets fans are just as tired of losing and
We are
not
dying.
playing meaningful games at the end of a season. It is not going well for Hornet Nation, and we are so pissed off that we have two national sports teams in the same fucking city that cannot get even at the end of the season.
Can't get anything right.
But we have a little bit of optimism coming into this season. So
Yes,
number
sir.
one, training camp day number 1, LaMelo Ball shows up with ankle braces and says in his interview that he will play all season with those ankle braces. Hence 3 ankle injuries last season, limiting him to, I think, 27 games.
He had 3 in one season.
3 ankle injuries last season, and it was
Hey, Kyle.
And then he's had some too before that season as well.
I remember another young, bright point guard NBA player who struggled his first couple of years with ankle injuries. You know who I'm talking about?
Let's hear it.
Steph Curry.
I agree, and I'm not doubting you. And LaMelo Ball, I have the same. I actually have probably more love for LaMelo Ball than I do Bryce Young right at this current moment. But LaMelo Ball is right there, top of the list. For me as a Hornets fan, and
I was impressed with him last year.
When he played well.
He was.
As long as he's available, we're gonna have at least a marginable amount. So for me, the ankle braces is a great sign. It means to me that he's not gonna put his pride above his health. He's going to be available. He wants to be available, and when he signed his deal, he told Mitch Kupachuk and all those guys that it wasn't just to make the playoffs. He wanted to come out and have an MVP season. Regardless in how the team shook out, he wanted to have an individual, a stellar season because he felt like that he hadn't been giving his all the last couple of years and he was always down with injury. So for me, that's huge. It's huge, Miles Bridges is back, even though he's a piece of shit. He can play basketball, so that's what we need. We need guys that can play basketball. So, we're down with some Miles Bridges right now. And the way Brandon Miller fits into the shooting guard position and into the rotation, we'll see. We
had a winning record last time we had Miles.
Yeah.
PJ Washington came back too, right?
Yes, yeah. PJ Washington is back.
We got him on the
deal. But last year, 27 wins, 27-55 last year, and that is just not gonna cut it. But I think with Miles Bridges and with LaMelo Ball, hopefully being able to stay a little healthier than he has been, adding in Brandon Miller and kind of rejuvenating this team without the insanity of the Kai Jones dilemma that we're all looking at, and the Kelly Oubre who's stealing minutes because he wants to be good for another team. We're gonna be able to put in some rotations and some lineups this year that may make a couple games a little bit closer, if not winnable. So I'm excited. I mean, day 2 training
Let
camp,
me
everything's
ask you
good.
from one real Hornets fan to another.
Yeah.
How do you want the Hornets to handle Brandon Miller's rookie year? Like in terms of starting, what position, how often they use him. You want him off the bench, like stuff
No,
like that.
so I actually I went on and talked a little bit about it. I want Brandon Miller at the starting shooting guard position. But I want him to be the first person that comes off the court. So I want Terry Rozier to be my sixth man, and I want Brandon Miller to be the early sub, and I want him off the court before everybody else on the line comes off. That way, his minutes are restricted to about 17 or 18 minutes a game, so that he's only playing, uh, a, a a little bit, like we're easing him into
Hmm.
competitive basketball in the NBA, but we're not just throwing him in and saying, okay, we're going to give you 28 minutes.
Go get it out the mud, yeah.
I want him on the starting lineup though.
I
I
do
want
too.
him. I want him out there, because you already know Scoot Henderson might be. I mean, he might be. He should be, anyways.
I wouldn't
But
mind if they had him be the sixth man for the first like few weeks, 2-3 weeks, and then but I want him to you hit it right on the mark. Have him at the two, rotate him in certain lineups. Maybe if we want to get bigger, put him at the three. But
yeah,
if you have Brandon Miller at the two in your small ball lineup, man,
right.
he's a
He's
big
got the
boy.
defense. He's got the
Yeah.
defense, and he's got the size to be able to give you your small lineup a good shot at getting turnovers and takeaways and rebounds. I feel like playing him small means he has the ability, or I rather, Steve Clifford has the ability to play two bigger wings and be able to play better at rebounding.
I don't think right out the gate he'll be he'll be his most polished self. I think he's more of a grow into what he's gonna become. I think by like year 2 or 3, he's really gonna be looking more into who he is as a complete starter in the NBA. I think it'll take time, but I think this year he'll definitely average like double digit points. Like I definitely think 13, 14 points.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really hoping for 38% from the three and higher off of like 4+ attempts.
Yeah,
Type beat, we got to get him involved in the offense.
yeah,
This is how we get this kid going. The defense will come because he does look like he wants to play defense and like he gives that kind of energy. He may not always look like the most uprising guy, but he actually gives like 120% in his play when you watch him. So I just look forward to things like that. Him being complete, him being able to also be an alley oop threat.
mm-hmm.
With LaMelo on the fast breaks, he can pop a 3-pointer from distance. He's an excellent shooter. I just think in transition, he's going to get easy baskets all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You
You
know
want
what
to
the
hop in and
Hornets
take?
have now? You know what who the Hornets have now? They haven't had in years is a big man in Mark Williams. I
Yeah,
think he's
Mark
gonna
Damn
have a
right.
better.
Williams.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Damn
Mark
right.
Williams. I'm excited for him too.
See, I watched him firsthand when he was at Duke because I'm a Tar Heel fan. I hated fucking Mark Williams.
Yeah.
But then the Hornets drafted him. I'm like, well, that's good for them. They needed a center because they ain't had a good center in a long time.
No, they've been playing with Mason Plumlee and thinking it's okay.
Yeah.
I'm not going
Good
to
lord.
lie.
Good
I
Christ.
still wanted us to pick Malik Brannahan. You know who
Yeah.
he is?
Hmm.
I went to middle school with him. That's why.
Wow. Okay. That's
Yeah.
cool. Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
We had 2 picks, so I figured we could have gotten them both, but
Yeah.
it's whatever now.
Yeah. I mean, the Hornets are pretty notorious for making one pick, and that's the player that they actually wanted, and then they do the subsequent pick or picks. They'll kind of funnel out for other trades. They usually stick with their first pick, most of the time, anyways. The other I mean, what do you guys think of Steve Clifford going on his interview yesterday and saying that he says that this is his, he's been 20 in the NBA 20 years, 10 years as a head coach, and he said this is the most talented team he's ever head coached. And I mean, like,
Is he protected? Like, I know Michael Jordan is not the majority owner no more, but it's like, is he like under contract protected from like Michael Jordan's situation or some shit? Because I don't know how he's still the head coach for the Hornets. Like, honestly,
I don't know either, and I truly, truly, truly believe this will be the last year we have to deal with Steve Clifford because I truly believe that this new ownership group, including fucking J. Cole and all these other guys,
Eric Church, which I thought was a surprise. Yeah,
Eric Church, and just all this shit that I don't believe that these guys are going to watch Steve Clifford run this team into the ground and hire him again. I don't think they'll do it. I don't care how much tie he has with the team.
Yeah, he needs to be gone. Yeah, he needs to be gone.
He coached the last good team in Charlotte, and they went 48-34. Like,
yeah,
that's not even great. Like, if that was the top of your coaching staff, coaching ability, buddy, you still lost 34 games.
Yeah,
like, buddy, I don't know if this is for you. So yeah, but LaMelo only playing 36 games last year, man. That's he missed 46 games. That's
a lot.
Definitely not going to cut it in this league.
So like Anthony Davis,
we won 27 games and he only played that much. Like LaMelo, man. I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't before we picked him. At first, I wanted Wiseman. Then I was like, you know what? We need some name value in Charlotte.
Right.
But I was unimpressed, honestly, his first 2 years in the NBA because I was just like, man, he could be better. That's the thing. He could be better. And he really showed me this last year that he really cares. He wants to get better in the NBA, you know. Because
he really
with
does.
LaMelo Ball, it's like, you sometimes do have to question his heart for basketball and his actual maturity, especially playing in Charlotte, Like,
yeah, I mean, because if you're playing for a losing team, you're not really having a history of playing, meaningful basketball at the end of the season. So, like, there's a lot of these teams that are just, finishing the season and then they have their off-season plans already made, ready that they're looking forward to that. They're not looking forward to playoffs. They're not. It's not even, in their thought process.
He's always made the team better and just he plays a winning style of basketball. And it's like if he could just excel and keep growing and getting better, man, the future in Charlotte can really be bright.
I just like his passing ability. His passing ability. He does not.
He passes like Magic Johnson.
Damn near.
He just doesn't just take dumb shots just because his name's LaMelo Ball. Like he's like, oh shit, you're open. I love
like
it.
His actual ability to pass is like through the roof. Like
the behind the back passes are crazy. That's crazy to me.
Well, his swing passes where it goes like this, swings it out and throws that sucker halfway across
the Oubre in the corner.
That's unbelievable. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Oubre in the corner or Terry in the corner. Boom, ball's there. But for me, I want to see Terry on the bench. I think he's reached the point of past his prime. And I think that the more sparingly you use Terry, because a lot of games last year, when his minutes were low, he was more effective. He was able to score and he was able to get assists in the 8 or 10 minutes that he was on the court in the game versus having to play a significant role in the offense.
Is Gordon Hayward still on the team?
Mm-hmm.
Oh Lord!
I'll be forgetting about his ass.
even with his mediocre play and terrible fucking habits, he only missed 32 games last year.
Only.
Oh shit.
I mean, I say only, but there were a lot of other players that missed more than that on Charlotte.
That's wild.
Gordon
And with
Hayward
his
was
injury
more
history-
available than some other players. But you're right, with his injury history, he is one Joe Biden fall away from breaking his shit.
Yeah.
I get you. But like,
Did you see what Charlotte did to his hairline though when he came here?
I swear, bro. Bro looks like they put a bowl on his head and just cut it with some scissors.
Yeah. I honestly can't even
Feastables.
entertain Kai Jones. I be seeing some of that
yeah.
stuff, and I'm like,
Wow.
man. I'm like,
I wonder
don't even know
I wonder if it's a
what's
thing that like NBA players just do a bunch of X and then get on IG and they're just like,
I was about to say, did he get in trouble? Because I've been seeing his name a lot on Twitter recently.
He
Kai
is
Jones.
Kai Jones is suspended indefinitely from the Charlotte Hornets.
Oh, he
Oh
is?
shit.
Yeah, he is suspended indefinitely. He is away
He's not
from
even
the team
good, so.
indefinitely. Yeah, so like he's not even that good, but like that whole thing, they're like, oh no, we're not gonna be any type of associated with that. So like they went on their presser and said that he has stepped away from the team indefinitely. You know, like they are not trying to bring him
Yeah,
back.
but they was like, hey, John Morant, bro, you cannot keep doing that shit. All right, we're going to give you a wrist tap right now. Then he did that again, and he was like, 25 games, guys. Come on, Jock, get your shit together.
Hopefully he learns this time, because I mean it's not exactly smart. To be
It's so frustrating with him.
fucking millionaire and just
He's so entertaining to watch.
yeah. Why would you purposely fuck your team, even though people want to see you play, to be dumb in a video? I don't get it.
It's like,
But,
bro,
yeah.
you just. Yeah,
Speaking
man.
of social media,
Yeah.
Mr. Beast announcing that he's going to be the jersey patch sponsor this year. His
I gotta
product
get a jersey.
Feastables. An interesting fact that I found out when I was doing a little research on this. He launched his snack brand in January 2020, and it sells chocolate bars, cookies, and other sweet snacks made from organic ingredients with no artificial flavors. Here's the thing. This man is a social media influencer.
Absolutely.
The Feastables brand made more than $10 million in its first 4 months.
Damn.
You said the Mr. Beast brand?
No, the Feastables brand from Mr.
Oh.
Beast. Just the brand that he created made $10 million in the 4 months. Like,
Yeah, that's not surprising.
that, it's not surprising from a social media standpoint, but the fact that it's being introduced into sports means that this could be what everybody else is saying. Exactly like you said, JJ. It's not surprising. What these people are going to see is a fucking money tree getting planted in the middle of fucking Spectrum Center, and all these players that can come hop on the bandwagon. You know?
Yeah, I've seen the patch on the
it's a
jersey. It's
good
pretty big.
idea. I think it's a really good idea.
Mr. Beast, man, I remember when Mr. Beast was first blowing up, like my freshman year of high school, and I was like, yeah, this is real trendy and all of that. Man, what he's been able to do in just 5 years is
$500 million estimated worth.
Yeah, he's gonna get some younger fans for the Hornets too now, because they're gonna see that patch and stuff like, oh wait, look at that.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And he's gonna bring some attention.
he's got LaMelo
It's gonna
Ball,
be, yeah.
Yep.
the most lovable player in the NBA, damn near one of them at least.
Damn near.
Because we
near.
watched him grow up, man. I remember
Yeah.
being like in middle school watching his high school videos and stuff like that. So the fact that he's on my favorite team is just so cool, you know.
Yeah. Here's the jersey.
Yep.
I don't know if you guys can see that.
Look at him. He looked like a whole high schooler.
Chilling. Yeah. And he's like 24, 25, something like that. But crushing it, bro. Man. And these guys, I think this partnership is really going to rejuvenate this fan base this year. And the fact that they're not talking about Book Night anymore, the fact that they're not talking about JT Thor anymore, they're just like, okay, those are the depth guys on the team. Yeah, we'll play them. Like Bryce McGowan's and all this shit. I hope that they don't get serious minutes this season, but there's always that plausibility. But I feel like as a Hornets fan, I don't want to have the same trap set for me that the Panthers set for me, because then I'll fall into it twice and just be pissed. But like, I still think we're definitely going to get more than 27 wins this year.
You damn right. We better.
They'll be better than the Panthers.
Well, Vegas has the Hornets at 31.5 for the season, and I'm willing to go on the over. I think that we'll get 32 or better. So with that, I mean, I'm hoping that that's the case.
No, the real over or under is the over or under of us getting blown out in the first play-in game.
Yeah, I'm not betting on that one.
Nah, we really gotta get that under control, man.
Yeah, because that's coming up.
Man, we need to start actually winning playing games and winning games in general, man. I want to make the playoffs so bad. We don't gotta win this series, but if we could just make it there, I mean, we had a good season, man. I could hold on to that for a while.
Right. At least hold on to it, and winning basketball is always good basketball. So for me, I feel like we just, as Hornets, they just lose too much, and they come back in these fourth quarters, and they have this surge, and they push right to within 2 or 4 points, and then they stop, and they die out, and the defense gets tired, and they get lax, and these guys start making shots, and we lose the fucking game, and we shouldn't. These games are close with 3 minutes left. These games are winnable, and
we be getting blown out sometimes.
I mean, we do. I will say that we do get blown out, but there's a lot of games.
We give the Warriors hell for no reason. We always play the Warriors tight.
Right.
I'm glad I'm a Lakers fan.
Lakers, what are they gonna do this year? I mean, you still got Brown and AD, but like,
they're gonna get hurt. Well, Anthony Davis is gonna get hurt.
Beverly, yeah, Davis is gonna get hurt for sure. Like, you've got, the team trying to build after Russell left, and the drama with Patrick Beverly and him. I think he's gone now.
Yeah, he's gone.
So I mean,
I don't even know if he's even playing. Is he still playing? Is he even on a team?
Patrick cannot tell you.
I don't know. I don't think he is.
Beverly is with another team.
Is he?
I'm trying to think.
He's old as fuck too, though.
Yeah, he's old as fuck. No, the Lakers. They seem like they're so close, except then something bad happens, and they're much farther away than what they let on that they are, And I think that
hopefully Austin Reeves takes another step. He played pretty good for Team USA.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested to see what Miami's gonna do, bouncing back. Being the team that wasn't supposed to be in the playoffs. Do they come out a little bit stronger, suggesting that fucking what's his name, Jimmy Butler down there and his fucking
look at his hairstyle. Yeah, that's what I'm about to put, dude. Oh my god, dude, he looks like he just came out of God, what's that? Man. What is it? Hot Topic? Is it Hot Topic? He looked like he just came out of Hot Topic.
Oh, what was that? What was that Progressive commercial where that girl pulls up and she's like, "You want my number?"
Bro,
looking. No, I'm not talking about Flo. I'm talking about the other lady, the comedian. I don't know what her name is. Or looking like what they said her name was Tiffany when Mike Tyson played the female boxer in that
Oh
movie,
Lord.
looking just like
Was those
Tiffany.
piercings real? Like them lip piercings that he had? Are they actually real?
No,
Cause he had like,
they were
I hope not. He had like 3 lip piercings and a nose piercing.
yeah, no.
Yeah,
It's
hopefully it's just like clip on or some shit.
yeah, something like that. I wouldn't imagine that he would put holes in his body for no reason. I mean, he got punched in the face for lots of money. Like
I don't
I don't
know,
think
man. He kind of got upset that Damian Lillard went to the Bucks.
he did, but I mean, as much as that kind of shapes that team, they have no defense.
Nope, at
They have
all.
no defense. So, like, I mean, you're going to play against a high scoring offensive juggernaut, but they can't stop you either. So, like,
But you know why the Bucks did that though, right?
Who can't
Because
stop anyone?
Giannis was gonna be down the road if they didn't get another superstar. He even said
oh,
that.
yeah.
He's
for
like, I'm
sure.
gone.
He
Hold on,
wanted
hold
another
on.
offensive superstar. I'm
hold
saying,
on,
JJ,
Kyle.
I'm saying the Bucks.
The Bucks ain't got nobody to
I'm
stop
saying
nobody?
the Bucks don't have a defense with Drew Holiday.
Not
and
really.
that. I'm saying they
Really?
don't.
Not at the point guard position or the shooting guard
They
position. They ain't got nobody playing defense.
But Brook Lopez almost won DPOI last year.
Yeah, but he's
that's
center. Though. I'm
one
talking about.
player. That's
Well,
one
that's their
player.
center too.
Talking about
There's
the
not gonna
perimeter
be.
defense?
I'm talking about their front court.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like literally, but like the Bucks are not gonna
That's
be
the
able
back-
to
that's the
defend
backcourt,
the
Jake.
arch at all. They're
Yeah,
gonna be
they're-
standing very, very close to the paint, and they're not going to be able to stop a 3-point shot.
Their perimeter defense is questionable right now, but don't they got Javon Carter, or is he not there no more?
I don't know. I don't follow
couldn't
the
tell
Bucks
you
like
on
that.
I try to pay attention to all the storylines every day, but I miss stuff.
I didn't know that Damian Lillard was that bad at defender, bro. He was ranked 290th or some shit. Like, it was crazy.
Yeah,
Crazy number.
They didn't get him for his defense. That's for sure.
Yeah,
That's for sure.
Damian Lillard's my favorite player. I have a Dame jersey, but
Yeah, he's good.
Man, oh, he is, man.
But I mean, if you're ranked that,
I respect his whole thing, man. But yeah, his defense is horrible.
I mean, but if you're ranked that bad, like, is the guy not even putting his hand up? Like, is he even attempting to put his hand? That dude. God.
Unless he's playing Russell Westbrook, he's probably not. Nah, that was peak Dame whenever they had that Westbrook.
Good Lord.
No, he's not the defender he used to be at all. And I mean, defenses.
You know who is a solid defender?
At a point guard?
Be a solid defender whenever he locks in. Have you seen Kyrie when he tries on defense?
When he played for the Cavaliers, he was a really good defender.
Yeah, I haven't
or like
seen.
Steph beat the no defense allegations.
Yeah,
Steph
can play defense if he has to.
And the thing about it is, he don't need to. That man can hit a 3-point from next stadium over.
Right, literally. It's crazy. Well, is there anything else you guys want to talk about?
Nah, I'm good. I'm getting tired myself.
Yes, sir.
One last question.
Yeah, absolutely. What you got?
Who do you think will have a playoff appearance first? The Hornets or the Panthers?
Hornets.
Hornets.
Yep, I'm going Hornets.
All right.
Because it's possible they can go in the playoffs this year.
Well, that's. I was gonna say that, but I was also thinking about next year. So if both teams miss the playoffs this year, I think that the Panthers are going to be hindered by their decisions of who they draft, what they bring in, what kind of scheme they use. Whereas the new management in the Hornets is going to fire the people that they think are fucking the team up, and they're going to go ahead and drop some dollars and bring some big names in, along with this this Feastables, sponsorship is going to bring in some players that are going to want to get on that train and to be in the social media team, you know what I mean? So I feel like even if neither team makes the playoffs this year, I feel like the Hornets might make the playoffs next year.
Yeah, they definitely should. They definitely should.
Right on. Well, I appreciate you guys coming on, hanging out with me. 2 hours, 18 minutes. Everybody on YouTube, hit the thumbs up, man. Give me a like. Give me a comment, man. I have the number posted right here on the screen, 910-661-5212. Leave me a voicemail, and I will play it on the show. Just get in the comments. Give us some your takes on the show. What you think, your opinions, and anything you'd like us to talk about. With that, I want to thank all my hosts today. JJ, Jake, thanks for hanging out. I know Pickle hates
Thanks for having us.
Hornet shit. He don't like basketball, and that's all right because I'll talk about it without him.
The Panthers getting a win this Sunday.
Oh, Lord, JJ.
God, I hope you're right, JJ, but I don't believe in miracles most of the time.
In a world of imagination.
That's right. We do not live in Willy Wonka's factory.
Keep pounding, Charlotte fans.
Keep fucking pounding.